Hi, everyone. It's Heidi returning with another live stream from Costume Co. And I'm just waiting for my co host to be joining. Tatiana Melendez will be here very soon. And so we're looking forward to having her. But anyway, I just wanted to get going because I know some of you might have been waiting for the notification. So anyway, we're going to be here for the next couple of hours. It's been a long time since we've done a Game of Queens live stream, which is why I decided to name it Return of the Queens. And unfortunately, Aaron, who was typically one of our queens, won't be here. Hi, AU. Hi, Alicia. Nice to see you guys. But anyway, just thought this would be a really fun time to just catch up with everybody and see what you've all been up to as well. And it's always a nice way to sort of engage with everybody. But also, before I get started, though, I wanted to just say we had a couple of weeks ago, we had a really interesting, fun experience with a 24-hour live stream. And I know some of you were here for that. And AU and Alicia were both on the panels. So that was such a blast. It's one of those things that, I'm really glad I did it. I probably wouldn't do it again because, just staying up that long, especially at my age, is just kind of crazy. But it was one of those things that, you're like, this would be a fun experiment to do. And of course, Justin Thomas was with me the whole time as my co-host. And I actually only made it till like 5 a.m. I think I fell asleep in my chair to wake up at like just after 6 to find out that, yes, we did it. So whereas Justin, I think he made it all the way through, but he was late. So I think between the two of us, we did manage to put in just under 24 hours. So anyway, I just want to say hello to everybody. Alicia said, that was too much fun. You're a mad woman for doing it, though. Laugh out loud. And I want to say to Alicia, okay, so I owe her this mug. And so, Alicia, I'm putting together a care package for you. It was funny. Linda R., she sent out some really lovely care packages to some people in the community, which was amazing. And so I wanted to, and she has she's half Japanese. So she wants to sort of share her Japanese heritage with some of the people in our community. So I'm going to send you a few treats that have a bit of a Canadian flair to them. So Alicia, you're going to be getting that soon. And the other thing is I would have mentioned my glasses are a little bit wonky. And I don't remember if it was prior to the live stream, but I sat on them at one point. So they're a little bit on the wonky side. But anyway, just to catch you up with what's been going on with me, Tatiana, she'd come on the 24-hour live stream, but it kind of got crazy towards the later hours because we were all drinking and stuff. So this is going to be sober 2 hours. I'm not drinking; I just have some water. So hopefully things will be a bit more coherent today. And Tatiana, I think she's going to be a teetotaler today with me as well. Hi, Lady Leaf Underhill. Oh, so she's going to be popping into another stream, but she's going to spend maybe a little bit of time with us. And if you aren't able to stay with us today, no problem. This will be recorded. You're welcome to come back and check it out after the fact. So once Tatiana gets here, my fellow queen, we will, bring the whole session to order. And what we're going to be talking about today is Tatiana and I had put together a series along with Vanessa Amnesty on Game of Thrones prequel characters. So we did a whole series. We did 6 of them. Hi, Asun. Hello. And nice to see you here. And so it was 6 series, and Tatiana, oh my God, she spent a lot of work researching all of the photos and so on. But also Tatiana did a bunch of her own designs, which were really, really fun. And I thought it would be really neat to just be able to go through those and share with you. And then she could talk a bit about them because in the video, it just all flew by so quickly. I also wanted to let you know that, actually, I think it was because some of my conversations with AU, I'm doing a video on A Knight's Tale. So it sort of came up when him and I were talking about the Alien. Oh, you have to remind me of the name of the show again. The Alien in Among Us. The Alien. The show with Alan Tudyk where he's an alien. So and then he was in A Knight's Tale, and it was an all-star cast and such a great show, such a great cast, and then I was like, I got to go back and rewatch that. But then in the meantime, I've been watching a show called The Great, which is fantastic. It is on Amazon Prime. So then I did a poll. Resident Alien. Thank you, AU. I have that old person brain. by the way, Resident Alien is fantastic. So when AU came on the 24-hour live stream, we talked about that, and it's just such a great show. I highly recommend it to everybody. It's so funny. It's very much like Northern Exposure, I think him and I mentioned. Or a fish out of water sort of story, but with that alien element. And it's really funny. And Alan Tudyk is just, I am such a huge fan of his. Now I've been going back and watching all these interviews he's been doing. So, and just seeing what his career was. He's in so many shows, like things that you would never even know that he's in. He's done so many voiceover characters as well. So, but back to A Knight's Tale. So what happened there was, we're like the late Heath Ledger's in it. And of course, Alan Tudyk is in it. And then even James Purefoy. So I said, I have to go watch this movie. So last weekend I watched it. And then I did a poll on my channel, and I got over like 150 responses, which was amazing, asking, would you prefer to do The Great or A Knight's Tale? And not surprising, A Knight's Tale won, although not as, I thought it would win by a landslide, but surprisingly, there are a lot of people who love The Great as well. So I'm working on that video, and I have to say, it's been so much fun working on it. It's 20 years old now, this movie. And so and then Jack, my husband, said, oh, by the way, it's on Netflix now. So that was really cool. So I guess a lot of other people are wanting to go back and rewatch it as well. Yeah. Asun says, I absolutely love The Great. It's so good. So that's on Prime, and it stars Nicholas Hoult. It plays Peter Not So Great, and then Elle Fanning plays Catherine the Great. So, and it's sort of like, again, like back to A Knight's Tale. It's anachronistic. There's a lot of it's based a little bit on history, but obviously they've for humor and just for fun storytelling, they've sort of taken some liberties. And if any of you are just joining us now, we're waiting on Tatiana, my fellow queen. I have my crown on. I'm wearing it. It's really nice because I did pull it out actually for the 24-hour live stream, but I haven't really been wearing it. So it's a little bit heavy. I purchased this, I think, a few years back when Game of Thrones was still in full swing. And as many of you know, I think they just celebrated their 10th anniversary of, I guess, season 1. So that was sort of a strange and unusual experience. So I don't know how any of you guys are feeling in the chat about what's going on with Game of Thrones and the prequels, and whether you care or you don't care. But anyway, so I'm glad to see all of you. I see that we are being joined by the lovely and talented Tatiana. So I'm going to add her to the stream. There she is, my darling.
Hello, my sexy princess. I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, no worries at all. Okay, so I was just sort of catching everybody up, but I see you have your beautiful tiara on.
Of course, it's Game of Queens. How can I not?
So anyway, I was just saying I was waiting for you to call the session in order. What do we normally say? What's our normal opening? We always say that we're in order, or we're in, all queens are in attendance.
Oh,
I always thought we had some kind of thing.
There, fuck it. This is not going right. So I'm just gonna tilt it.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of I don't know if it's are you on your mic? I'm getting a little bit of a vibration thing.
Oh,
is it maybe your fan?
Sorry. That's my
no
fan.
worries.
It's very hot.
Asun says hello to you. Hi, say my name. How are you? Okay, so Tatiana, before you got here, I was just asking everybody, I said Game of Thrones has just celebrated their 10th anniversary, the series that is, and there are some mixed feelings about all that. But before we get into any of that, I just want to ask how you're doing. What are you up to?
I'm doing fine. My hair is a bit of a mess because
beautiful.
Because I have a thing tomorrow that requires a specific hairstyle, and I have to wash my hair and do four braids. That's partially why I was late. And then all together because I'm doing a scene in my acting class that's set in 1898. So I have to do the big Gibson girl hairstyle.
Yes.
and it comes and it goes, but basically part of the process is trying to curl my hair without curlers or curling iron. So I just braid it up while it's wet.
That's a good idea.
Wait until right before class, and then just take off the braid, put on texture mousse like this. Putting this on. This is like volumizing mousse. That's what it is. And then like brush it out like really roughly with a circular brush. So it goes like.
Yeah, actually, I have one of these. Like, I got one of these. Like what ballerinas use. It's like a poof. Like it's like you stick your hair in a ponytail, because I just washed my hair as well. It's like you and I are like sharing. And it's like a round poof like this, and you put it on your hair and then you wrap your hair around it. So, because I thought, well, I'm going to wear the crown. So I thought if I put that on, it'll kind of hold it in place. Oh, Alicia's saying perhaps headphones would help. Are you guys hearing the feedback? Okay, cool. So I was just going to say, so Asun said, I must say Game of Thrones ended so bad. I am still angry about it, but also I am happy to have had that exciting time. I got to know awesome people and it was exciting to talk about it. Say my name says Game of Thrones, no reason to celebrate at all. She calls us the Queens of the North. That's what we are. The Queens of the North.
There we go.
Oh, Asim says, plus all of the doll inspiration she got. By the way, I have to mention. Oh, that sounds better, what you've got there.
Yeah.
I have to mention that Asun, she did this doll this week. Asun, I think it was this week because days are blending into for me. But she did this amazing doll on Agatha from WandaVision. You know, Agatha wearing that. I guess it would be her full-on witch outfit with the high collar and the cloak. You know, it's beautifully dyed.
Oh,
I shared it.
I haven't watched WandaVision.
Oh, you haven't seen WandaVision? Oh my God! I just did a spoiler. Whoops.
It's fine. It's a spoiler. You need to think about the story. But basically, here's the thing. I want to watch WandaVision, but for me to watch WandaVision, I have to watch some Marvel movies, and for me to understand those Marvel movies, I have to see the entire UFA. And I can kind of like one hand the number of Marvel movies that I've seen. Maybe 2.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. See, I've seen them all, but I oftentimes forget them. So
yeah, here's the thing. Like, I keep wanting to do it, but like I keep having this idea in my head to like start a YouTube channel reacting to movies and like reviewing them.
Yeah. Yes.
But then it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? But I want to do like a marathon, like a Marvel marathon of watching those movies for that YouTube channel. But something always happens that like kind of maybe like scamper off and not do it. So
yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Anyways, if you guys are just joining us, so Tatiana and I just started at the very beginning. We have not done a Game of Queens live stream for ages, and in fact, I'm calling this one Return of the Queens because we haven't been together in this capacity. Aaron used to be our fellow queen, but Aaron had, he was going through some things in his personal life, so he's always welcome. I always say, Aaron, you want to come on?
Yeah,
you're always here.
He told me he couldn't because he has work today. So
yeah, so he's always welcome to come, and occasionally we have our guest queens, but. I just talked a little bit about the live stream, the 24 hours. So, it was a little bit, there were some people on the live stream who didn't get to talk. Tatiana was one of them. She was being drowned out by the cacophony of loudness. And actually, there were some people.
It was a night. It was indeed a night.
Yeah. So, and also there were a few people who couldn't get in. So I'm going to do a make good for them. So like my friend Dean Inman couldn't get in, and there's a limit. You can only have 10 people in here. And then also, I don't know if you tried to come in, but I don't know if you ever met, oh my gosh, I forgot his channel name. Okay. It'll come to me and I'll mention it. But anyway, so we'll try and do some catching up with people over the next few months. So, so today, Tatiana, I have a bunch of your photos, your drawings. Loaded. Yay. And what I thought,
that now is like the first time in like months, like 4 months, that I started drawing again, because I took like from the end of January till now to like grab my sketchbook and start drawing again, because I just didn't draw anything until now.
Well, okay. Well, actually, before we get into it, why don't you just sort of tell everybody what you've been up to? Because you've been really busy.
Well, if by really busy you mean schoolwork, then sure.
Yes. Yeah, just tell everybody what you've been doing. Because it's been a while since we've been together.
Yeah. It's been a lot. Basically, I had like a lot of work to do. I had projects, and I still have projects that I haven't finished that I have to finish, and I'm like, and especially now since my classes end next week, my classes end early next week. This is actually no, this is the last week of class I have, and then next week is like technically finals. So
yeah, but some people don't. Like, some people don't know where you're going to school. Do you want to say where you're going to school?
Oh, I mean, wow, I forgot the school. After studio drama school at Piedras University. Yeah, that's where I'm doing my master's with the actor studio. And
but you're doing remote right now. You're doing remote school.
Yeah, I'm in Puerto Rico because pandemic. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like I really don't have much of a life. I don't really get out much. It's like rare the times that when I leave my house. Oh, and I got my first shot of vaccine last Wednesday. So woo!
Yeah. So actually, because hi Farmstead, how are you? It's Adrian's here. Thanks for popping in. So what happened was Tatiana and I actually, she warned me because I got mine last Friday on my birthday. And she said, you might not be feeling well because we had talked about wanting to schedule a stream. So she said, we might want to put it off. So both of us got our vaccines within a week of each other, which is cool because you're in Puerto Rico. I'm in Canada. So we're starting to roll out. So how did it go? How are you feeling from that?
I felt fine. Like since it's like the first shot, they say that the second shot, the one that's like very gnarly. Yeah, that was in Mexico. But for the first shot, my arm was sore. It hurt, but it was like it wasn't like anything like excruciating or anything like that. So it helped. Oh, thank you, Farmstead.
Yeah, she likes our crown. So Farmstead, Adrian, this is her first time. I think this is your first time popping in. Her and I were chatting earlier. So what we do is, so if anybody doesn't know why we're called Game of Queens, it comes out of Game of Thrones, obviously, or maybe not obvious to everyone. And so since Tatiana, and we were sort of like a Project Runway, but for like medieval costumes. But we do other things too. In fact, I was going to talk to you. So the Oscars are coming up, right? And last year we did an Oscar special. Our guest was, a little bit inebriated, but it was still really fun. And I mean, he didn't throw up on the air or anything. Things could have gone sideways a little worse. But he did, he retired to bed, which was great. But I thought maybe we could do it. Now, have you seen any of the movies that are nominated for Oscars, though? I'm really totally behind. I haven't seen a lot of them.
Well, here's the thing. Yesterday, if anyone can hear me, yesterday I was at a Q&A at a school Q&A with Amanda Seyfried. And I asked her.
Amanda Seyfried, yeah.
Yeah, and
that's very cool.
At least she's nominated for an Oscar for supporting actress in Mank, Netflix Mank. Yeah,
that movie definitely has interested me. I'd love to see it. The costumes look amazing.
Oh, I love it. It's a good movie. I do feel like the ending was a bit rushed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna give spoilers, but because it's like you think the main antagonist is one person, but then suddenly it turns into like another person who is like the main antagonist in like the last 20 or so minutes. I'm like, okay.
I think you know what I think, Adrian, Tatiana, I wonder if you're getting maybe a bit of lag. Do you want to pop out and then come back in again? You want to try doing that? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I'm sorry. That. It's like, sorry, everybody. Tatiana's in Puerto Rico and I'm in Canada. We're like opposite ends of the continent. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Who else is here? Hey, Oaktown girl. Hey, I'm an escapist account on Twitter. Oh, I know who you are. It's very nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Sorry, guys. So we're having a little bit of problems with Tatiana's tech. So she's going to try popping out and popping back in. As many of you know, this is sometimes what happens with live. Adrian, I'm so glad you came, though. That's really sweet of you. I appreciate you taking out your time today to do that. Yeah, it's crackling. So we tried getting her to change her headset. What happened was we started the stream. I started the stream without her and she just popped in. But anyway, these things happen. It's not a big deal. So yeah, so that's why we're wearing the crown. So she's joining back again. Let's see if that helps. And here, let's see what happens, everybody. How is it now? Back. Oh, it sounds way better. Totally.
Yay.
Woo! Woo! Yes, thank you.
I still feel a little bit slow,
gods.
I still feel a little bit slow, but let's just keep going with it. Like,
sure. It's fine. No, at least the sound is better. Like it was breaking up a little bit. So these things happen. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Adrian. She says way better. Okay. So if anybody is just joining us, Tatiana and I were just talking about how we haven't done the live stream together for a long time. It's probably been months that we were looking at maybe doing an Oscar special in, I think it might be April. Last year we had Christopher Laverty join us, but I thought if we did have Christopher join us, we could just maybe do it earlier in the day.
Yes.
Like it, because he is in England. So I think what had happened was we did it in the evening and he probably was already like, well into
it was already like midnight or
it was midnight for him. He was well into his cups. And but he is I actually have had him on a few times. We did one on Tenet and he was such a great guest. Like, I don't know if you saw that one, but he knows
I saw bits and parts because I didn't want to get like spoiled.
Yeah, you didn't want to get spoiled for sure, but he knows like men's clothes, like contemporary men's clothes. Like he is the foremost expert on that.
Oh my God. You know what video I would love you to do for men's clothing? The show Versailles about Louis XIV. The men's clothing there is like, mwah! I love it.
I haven't seen Versailles.
It's like, honestly, I don't even look at the women like the majority of the time, like, oh, that's a pretty dress, but oh my God, you're suit bitch. Yes, work it, Louis. I hate you, but you look amazing.
No, I haven't seen it. But also, like Tatiana, before you joined, I was talking about the greats, so we'll have to talk about that at some point too. It's so good. So if you're just joining us, what we were sort of chatting about is that Tatiana and me and Vanessa, that's not proper grammar, did a series of videos on prequel characters from Game of Thrones. Like we did like 6 videos. Tatiana, gathering all the pictures. I never asked you this. How long did that take you, do you think? There were thousands. There were thousands, were there not?
Oh, there were. Not just mine. It was your. I mean, like you had like the bulk of the problem because like you had to like sort through like pages upon pages upon pages upon documents upon pages upon of just all the pictures that me and Vanessa sent because we both sent like I literally have like maybe like 20 Word documents each with like at least 100 pictures each. It was like that bad.
Oh, Adrian, don't bother watching the final season.
Yes, you can. I mean, you can stop.
No, I'm kidding. You should watch it.
Because maybe season 5. They're probably.
No, I'm kidding. Well, no, you should watch it. I think if you probably watched it, like I've heard of people who watch the entire thing in one sitting. They don't get as angry about it. Maybe.
My dad is like maybe like one of 3 people that unironically loves the last season. He loves it. He says, sure. Oh my God, it's amazing. Like I'm like, okay, sure, Dad. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Like, no, but they did this, and it's like, Dad. do you not see the problems in this? He's like, no, everything was perfect. Everything was right. Like, Dad, it was too rushed. A lot of shit didn't make sense. The characters became stupid. Like Tyrion they made Tyrion stupid. Like,
I know. He's
Dad,
supposed to be the smartest character.
Yeah, it's like, can you not understand this? And it's like, no, but this, and he's just trying to like excuse it all. I'm like, sure, Dad, whatever helps you sleep at night. My dad's a lawyer. There's no arguing with him.
Yeah.
So.
Well, anyway, but it was kind of interesting because we worked on that from, I think, last summer on, and it was sort of like it kind of was a good purging, I found, like, because what we did was, it was actually Vanessa who kind of proposed this idea. Vanessa Amnesty, she's one of our viewers and a friend to the channel and a friend of the Queens, and she won't come on here with us, so because she's probably a bit shy. But if she comes into the chat later, she can put her 2 cents in. So what happened was, we were like, okay, how are we going to do this? Because it was such a massive undertaking, right, Tatiana? Like, how are we going to tackle this? And we went back and forth. Like, Tatiana finally came up with sort of a structure. So how did you sort of propose that? How we did that?
So because I could see that it's going to be a big undertaking, because she like wanted to talk about prequels and sequels and Game of Thrones. The Song of Ice and Fire is basically a cast of thousands, and I knew that if this wasn't ordered in a way, it was going to be pandemonium, and you were going to have like a hell of a time trying to sort through everything, because again, there are too many characters.
Absolutely.
There's so many characters in the main storyline, not considering like hundreds of years of lore. And we had 2 videos with just the Targaryens alone. That should tell you enough. It's like,
yeah. And that's the first video we started with, right? We started with the Targaryens.
Yeah. So I thought
that seemed like that seemed like the most structured of all of because we could just go in order.
Yeah, basically we could go.
And there was a lot of information
in a chronological order, and since everyone had like the same name, we didn't have to like, okay, wait, but then who's this Baratheon, and then who's this Tully, then who's this Stark? Wait, but where does this go? Oh, where does this go? It's like, no, everybody's a Targaryen. This Targaryen was here, then this Targaryen was here, and then this Targaryen was here, and here, and here, and here. Oh, and by the way, I think someone asked me if my dad read the books. No,
yes, that was that was John.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, Pagnol was like, no, my dad doesn't like reading fantasy books. He likes watching like fantasy shows or stuff, but when it comes to literature, he prefers like history books. He's a huge amateur historian. He loves to have history. For him, reality is weirder than fiction, and he's not entirely wrong.
Hi, Katrine.
But no, hello, Katrine. Love your name.
I love her name. I think it said Katrine. If I said it incorrectly, please correct me. My brother had a girlfriend named Katrine, so that's why.
I know the name Katrine. Might be Katrine. I know the name Katrine from Mother Courage by Bertolt Brecht.
Oh yeah,
yeah, the daughter.
And so, sorry, go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, so I basically said, okay. Because you both just started like just throwing out names like, oh my god, this costume and this costume and then this costume. I'm like, girls, calm the fuck down. We need to order this, because it's going to be hell if we don't order this. So I said, it's like, okay, first, let's go. The Targaryens are a huge family, and it's a dynasty. It's just the ruling family. Let's start with them, and then we can do like separate videos about the rest of the families, of the main families. And then there was also,
because it'd be like if we were trying to do the British monarchy in a series of videos, basically. Like it would be, and all the side characters. It was massive undertaking.
It's kind of like trying to do all the descendants from Queen Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
Because and from there you got like Russia, and you got Germany, and you got England, maybe some France, and like, girl, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
But
So you kind of then so then after we figured out the structure, if anybody's just joining us, we're just talking about this video series that Tatiana and Vanessa Amnesty and I co-produced together, a series of 6 videos on Game of Thrones, and they're all like about a half an hour long. So it's really like 6 hours of, or sorry, I can add 3 hours of content. It's like a lot of content, right?
it's hefty. It's a thick girl. The videos are thick girls.
I like thick girls. I'm a thick girl.
There's sassy girls. I mean, sassy girls and boys, because there's
yeah, exactly.
there's some of those videos.
And also, it was before we really knew about House of the Dragon, I think. I mean, maybe we had a hint of House of the Dragon coming out.
It was beginning. The concept had been approved. I think that's why Vanessa wanted to do this video series, because of House of the Dragon. That gave her the idea. I was like,
yeah, to imagine what everyone might look like, what what we hoped they might look like. And so you mined kind of the internet, you scrubbed the internet to come up with all of these beautiful images, and also Vanessa did as well. She came up with a lot of great. She started doing that. So the 3 of us were sort of working in tandem together. So where'd you get a lot of the photos?
Google.
Google is our friend.
Google is our friend until it's not. But basically, I just scoured all of Google. I went to the dark spaces. No, sorry, my phone was being uppity. But basically, I scoured every single teeny tiny insignificant speck that I could find of content that I could find, and even and all the fan art. I was gonna say fan fiction.
Fan art. The fan art. Were you surprised at the amount of fan art, Game of Thrones fan art that's out there?
Absolutely not. How?
Okay.
God, have you forgotten how popular this is?
No. Okay, I know, but I mean, it's like massive. It's like, I mean, because there were some professional ones too that we encountered, but the amount of, because all these side characters as well, not just the show characters, right? All the book characters, all the prequel characters.
We were talking about prequel characters, like. There's like the official illustrations by Amok and Matthias something that we saw, and then there's like the amazing Naomi makes art that she's like, fuck you, bitch, stop being amazing.
She's so brilliant. And Chili Raven art. We have our favorites, right? We have our.
We might be a little bit biased, but just it's okay. But all these amazing artists, and then there were like these. I think they're more like designers than illustrators, because they took like internet dolls, and then like the dolls they did like this, and then they like design the costumes around the doll. So I'm comfortable calling them like costume designers. That a whole bunch of the fan art that I sent you was from those dolls.
Yeah, so there's these, like, if anybody doesn't know what you're talking about, there's these, like, I guess it's like an app where you can create a doll, but you can put all kinds of different outfits on it, which is like, oh my God, I would have died for something like that when I was younger. I would have loved to have had that. It would have been, wouldn't that have been cool, like, to have that? Like a virtual like doll maker, because we used to do our own dolls, like we'd make our own dolls, so you can do any kind of outfit on them, do a different hair color. Or do you do it?
The closest I had in my childhood to that was like the paper doll books that came with like paper dolls with the dresses, and they like dress them up. I had that, and I had so many of those. Like my grandmother, whenever I went to New Jersey to visit my grandmother, she would like buy me one, and I was like,
oh, sorry.
My Barbie. I have so many Barbie. I have so many Barbie ones. It's stupid. But yeah.
The thing, okay, so this is the one experience that I had because when we decided to do this, I was like, I said, Vanessa said, well, can we just use them? And I said, well, I think we kind of have to ask their permission, right? Which wasn't too
Yeah.
bad with someone like Naomi Makes Art because she had an entire portfolio of costumes. So I just said to her, hey, is it okay if we use some of your art? And then, we were able to use all her characters. And I met a lot of people just contacting them, and then I went into their portfolio and saw, oh wow, they did this character and they did this character and they did this character, so we were able to use that. But kind of met some really, really interesting people. And you know what, I only had one person who said no to me.
Who?
Well, and this is to be fair, and actually it's interesting because Say My Name said the amount of Lord of the Rings fan art is insane, so don't expect less with Game of Thrones. So what had happened was sometimes the artwork wasn't Game of Thrones. It might be another niche or something or another fandom, but it looked kind of like Game of Thrones. So she was a Lord of the Rings artist, like, fan artist. And I asked her if I could use it for a Game of Thrones video, but she hated Game of Thrones. So she said, no, you can't use my artwork for Game of Thrones video.
Wow.
So, but if I was doing a Lord of the Rings video, she probably would have been like, sure. So I kind of, I didn't even know there was a thing out there like that, but
I mean, everyone has to have their taste, I guess.
So anyway, so in these videos, in these 6 videos where we do prequel characters not in the show, but in the books, or in the books, but not in the show, or what have you, or Targaryen.
There's like the first 2 are like prequel Targaryens. Then the next 2 are like prequel characters that are not Targaryens. And then like the 5th one is like characters in the books that are not in the show. And then the last one is show characters that have different descriptions in the book in the books.
Yeah, it's like super confusing. So once we kind of figured that out, and then Tatiana picked the music, which was so fun. The music was really fun to do, right?
I love playing DJ. It's so much fun.
So that was really fun. And then Jack, my husband, did the graphics, which he kind of did it as a surprise for me, and I loved it. Like they were so fun, right? The graphics. So
it looked so good. That intro was like everything.
Yeah,
it's like
it kind of gave me chills. It kind of gave me chills.
Yeah,
it kind of gave me chills when he did it. So the whole series. But one of the things, so what we're going to do now is Tatiana. Now she's been doing some of these over the years. It's not like she just did them for the video, but she did a series of her own designs, which I thought we could talk to you about next. So before I start showing those, do you want to just give us a little bit of an introduction to that?
Well, the first thing I can say is that, hi James, is that Game of Thrones is the gift that keeps on giving, because I have like an entire page in my blog that is absolutely only Game of Thrones related. Anything that I did, because I've designed so many costumes because of Game of Thrones, because Michelle Clapton is just that inspiring. And like part of them, I didn't start with the shows, but I did with the series. The video series, but I did. What's the word that I'm looking for? I did do various costumes for the video series, and I literally spent all of last summer, just drawing nonstop. Just my hand was just destroyed afterwards. But yeah, I love drawing. I love doing costumes. It's not my plan A, but it's like my plan B in terms of career. Even
you
want to
be an actress. You're studying to be an actress. You are an actress, so that's your first thing. But you have you love costumes as well. And even if you are an actress, though, that you'll still have some influence on your costumes. So it's good to know about it.
Yeah, and
I actually, I was just going to tell you, there's this really great movie out called Nobody that just came out, and I watched it. It's amazing. With I just shared it out today on Twitter. Why have I forgotten? Jimmy, hold on a second, guys. I have a point to make here. I will get to it. Sorry. Okay, Bob Odenkirk. Yes. So Bob Odenkirk is in this new movie called Nobody, which is sort of like what do you call it? A John Wick kind of movie. You know, he just goes and like beats up a bunch of people. It's awesome. But he's in his 50s, so it's pretty cool. But anyway, so I was watching this video about how he got into his different roles, and the main one being, of course, Breaking Bad. In Breaking Bad. And one of the things he talked about, which I was so thrilled to hear, is that, hi, Linda. Hi, Peter. He came up with the idea of the hair. Like, he called the producer and he said, listen, I've got this idea for my hair. And the producer really liked it. And he was talking about his costume in Breaking Bad. Like, have you seen the show?
No, it just it's not really my thing. Like all the drugs.
Oh, no, that's fine. Oh, it doesn't have to be. I'm just mentioning it because one of the things in the interview he talked about is how important his costume was to getting into character. And it was a really, really great interview that he gave. And I thought that was really interesting because he's actually a comedic actor that then took on this role, which is in itself kind of a funny character, but at the same time pretty serious. The series is dead serious. And then in his new show, the new movie, Nobody, it's dead serious. Like, you would have no inkling at all that he's a comedic actor. He used to be on Saturday Night Live, actually. So Linda says, hi, Heidi and Tatiana. I wanted to stop in and say hello. I'm sorry I can't stay, though. That's no problem, Linda. Really lovely of you to pop in. So, and Linda, we were talking about you earlier as well, or at least I was. So I just thought that was really interesting. So even if you become, or if you're an actress, you'll have some say in your costume. Your costume will inform your character and all that. So that's, one of the reasons why we talk about costumes.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, I think when it comes to costumes, you have to have like a happy compromise with the costume designer, because if you have too much control of the costume choices, you're so into your character's inner life that you kind of forget the outside. And basically what happened with Beauty and the Beast and the yellow dress.
Oh god, yeah.
Infamous yellow dress. It's like Emma Watson, she had too much say over her costumes, and like she wanted her to be such a, what's the word that I'm looking for? Oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? Such a raging feminist that she didn't get the particulars of the era. It's like, Belle is a feminist, but not because she doesn't wear a corset. This is 1700s, not 1800s.
Yeah.
It's like it just didn't make sense, and it just didn't look good, and the dress didn't do without the dress will look a goddamn prom dress. I'm just like, I will never stop raging about that dress. Never.
Yeah. No, I think actually it's funny because when I interviewed Christopher Hargadon, who does the Umbrella Academy, part of what he said he has to do is psychology, right? Like, he has to be kind of convince the actor. Like when he worked with Elliot Page, right? And he said that's his first experience ever dealing with, he referred to it as a gender neutral design. So he had never done that before. So that was a specific from Elliot Page, like an edict from Elliot Page. But there were some things he said he fought for, like for instance, some of the specifics of the costumes he actually fought for, but so it is sort of like, the designer has the big picture in mind, and the silhouette, the correct silhouette, for instance, might be like, we are going for a correct silhouette here. So if one of the characters is not in that correct silhouette, it's just going to look weird. It's going to stand out like a sore thumb and be odd and strange, right?
Absolutely. If I could teach a costume class about costume design, I will put that picture up as an example of what happens when an actor has too much control.
Yeah.
Over
and then it's interesting. And then Cinderella was then criticized for making her waist too tiny. But the actress is tiny already. She is already really small.
She's already there's really small, and I do agree that, again, there's a happy medium because I know that Lily James, the actress, I think she complained about the corset being too tight to make that the waist like super tiny. And but what bothers me is when they start using that the tightening of a corset to say, oh, that's how it was in those times. Those times were horrible for women. It was it was this, it was that.
Their backs were bleeding. No, yeah, they put their foot on their backs.
It's just that Hollywood sucks at tightening goddamn fucking corsets. This is Hollywood, not that time period. Because if that time period was like that, for every woman, no women could work. So try telling that to 1800s women who had to work in farms, in factories, in all that bullshit while wearing a corset and having babies.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Well, and also the upper classes. And also the upper classes would have had. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You go.
I'm not saying that tight lacing wasn't a thing, but it wasn't the rule. The women could be comfortable in those corsets. Were there women that wanted to like nip in the waist even more because they wanted tiny waist? Sure. And guess what, ladies? That still happens to this day. It is not just in the 1800s.
Are you speaking of the Kardashians by any chance?
I'm thinking about a bunch of women.
It's true.
Of women.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say, actually, I don't know, Sabina was asking how we've been here for a little while, but what we're going to do, Sabina, we're just sort of giving an overview of this series on Game of Thrones we were doing. And so ASUS is a series by Bernadette. She's a historian talking just about that. Yes. So
and also Carolina.
Yes.
She's
Asen probably knows her. Polish, exactly. So what we're going to talk about now, though, is so I've got some pictures that Tatiana did of the Game of Thrones prequel characters or book characters that may not be in the show. So let me I'm going to bring those up. And I have Ariana, I've got Elia, Lyanna, Jenny of Oldstones, and the Targaryen women, Rhaenys. And then, so who do you want to do first? Is there anybody you want to do?
Well, we can however you have the video ordered. It's fine.
Okay, I'll just do
the slideshow ordered.
I don't exactly have it. Okay, so it's kind of like this. I have this. What I'm doing is I'm doing it as an overlay. This is a little bit different. So this is right out of the video, and I did it because firstly, Tatiana, she named each of the looks, which I thought was really fun that you did that.
I like being creative with my titles.
Yeah, so this is Ariana Martell. So she is Doran's. So she's not.
No. This is actually a Chardane.
Oh, a Chardane. I apologize. Okay, so this is a Chardane. So why don't you tell us a bit about this?
So quick overview for everyone who doesn't know who a Chardane is. She is the younger sister of Arthur Dane, the Sword of the Morning, of the House Dane of, oh my God, Dorne. And this is her during the ball at the tourney of Harrenhal. And I got kind of words. I got inspired by Egyptian fashions, like Asian Egyptian fashions, because since you could see since she's from the south, she's from Dorne, and like Dornish women, they have it's a desert, so they have to be like light fabrics and light flowy dresses, like Illyria and the Sand Snakes wear.
Because it's hot. It's hot there.
So I decided to look because I had rarely looked at Egyptian costumes or Egyptian historical fashions, and I found so many beautiful things about it. And if you can see like the part here in the chest, that's basically I don't know what they called it in the collar. The collar
Yeah, it's kind
around
of
the
like a
chest.
beaded it's like a beaded collar, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, that's basically inspired by the collars, the Egyptian collars that are so prevalent. And like the fabrics, if I could say what fabric that would be, that was probably like a hand dyed muslin fabric, I would say, so that it could like float in the breeze, and maybe like chiffon to like make it like all soft and billowy. And then the sash here, that's also very Egyptian. And I put like I wanted her to look like a galaxy, basically. Like I know in those times we didn't have galaxies, but since the
Egyptians knew about astronomy, so
well, yeah. I mean, I don't know how they saw galaxies, or they didn't know the concept of a galaxy, but they could see like the stars, so they could like copy what they saw from the stars. And basically, I wanted her because the Dane family sigil is a shooting star with the sword. So I wanted her to look like a star, like like a
and it's got the
galaxy.
purple.
Yeah, and the purple and the silver is basically the house, the family colors, the purple and silver.
And she has sort of like purple eyes, I think.
Yeah, she has black hair and purple eyes. I always want. I don't think. Oh God that word. I don't think Martin like acknowledged it or anything, but maybe the Danes have some parentage with the Targaryens to have those purple eyes. I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't be past
Yeah, they were saying that with the Baratheons. I think I was reading there are some. Maybe someone in the chat would know. And who was it that was what was the Kingsguard who was in love with her? That she was so beautiful.
Barristan Selmy.
Yeah, Barristan Selmy was in love with her in the book.
He wanted her. Yeah, he wanted to give her the crown of flowers for the tourney if he had won.
Yeah. So, she wasn't in the show. So she is a book character that wasn't in the show. So she was in that video.
She's in the prequel. She's Tourney of Harrenhal, Robert's Rebellion era.
Yeah. Okay. So then next I have, you want to do Lyanna Martell since we're sort of in Dorne?
Sure.
Okay. I'm just pulling these up. So you're going to just be seeing what I'm pulling up and then you can kind of comment. Okay.
The beautiful princess.
Poor thing, eh? Her story is so awful.
Oh, it's so awful. It's like, and honestly, the more I learn about her, the more I love her, and the angrier I get at what happened to her.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because
hey, Poltergeist. The Poltergeists are here. These guys, just Tatiana, sorry to interrupt you for a second. They have a horror channel, so all of the movie reviews and analysis they do are about horror movies. Isn't that cool?
Nice.
So this is a bit. Yeah, Elia's story is a bit of a horror story, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, but just little parenthesis. I went to Ireland. Gorgeous countryside. The cliffs of Moher were terrifying.
The countryside was terrifying. It was like American Werewolf in London,
No. The countryside was beautiful.
Oh, it was beautiful.
The cliffs of Moher, the big gigantor cliffs that I went to that I actually walked along the edge. Those were terrifying because I walked through those cliffs while it was raining and it was very muddy and slippery, and I was like right on the edge. I was like,
hey everyone, we're here. I'm just just if you're joining us, Poltergeist included, I shall put it back here. If you're joining us, we are going through Tatiana's illustrations that she did, her costume designs, and some of the prequel characters from Game of Thrones. So that's what we're doing. So we just did who did we do? We just did Ashara Dane. So now we're doing Lyanna Martell, who's also from Dorne. So she's not, so her character is mentioned in Game of Thrones, but we never actually see her because it would have been before the show started. So so here's your design for that, Tatiana. So tell us a bit about it.
So for this would have been my design for Elia. I keep forgetting names. This will be my design for Elia at the tourney at Harrenhal.
Mhm.
I wish I could have done something different for the overskirt. I'm not in love with it, but
Kind of
we
looks
could go
like a sari fabric to me.
Yeah, like with her, I kind of took inspiration from like Indian-ish
Hmm.
fashions because I love Indian fashions, like the saris and the says lengas and the lengas and the dress and the gowns. They're just so good. And oh god, the goddamn embroidery! It floors me every freaking time. So the thing that I love the most is like the headdress and the
Oh yeah.
cape that she wears, like the cobra cape, because like
Hmm.
because her brother is like the viper and she loves her brother.
Yeah,
So
Oberyn's her brother.
yeah, and also if you notice the upper bodice,
Hmm.
that's like in brown, but it's in scales. It's like dragon scale
Oh,
kind of
okay,
thing.
cool.
So it's kind of like a mishmash of her culture and the Targaryens. If it makes any sense.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's her. You've included the sigil just in the corner there, which is the
Yeah.
sun being pierced by a spear, I think.
Yes.
With
Yes.
the,
That's the Martell sigil.
yeah. And again, she's got long
and
dark hair.
yes, she has beautiful long dark hair. And people are that there's people like, oh, poor her. She was
Hmm.
ignored at the. She was passed over the flower crown for Lyanna. You know that's where everything started. But I think it was Robert for Indie Geek that he made me think. Elia is from Dorne. Dorne is
Hmm.
very liberal. They don't mind people having mistresses. She would probably be cool with it. You see, and she
Okay.
also understood. She also understood Rhaegar's desperate need to have 3 children because 3 of the dragon. So I think she would have been cool with him taking on Lyanna as a mistress or Lyanna as another wife even. If
Yeah,
only
that's a
he
good
had
point.
told her. I think if he had at least told her what was gonna happen, then she would have been cool with it. I think the only thing she would not be cool with is like not being clued in and then being like humiliated in front of
In
everyone.
public. In
Yeah.
public. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, because I was reading because I'm doing A Knight's Tale, I'm reading about like courtly love and I'm reading about, the chivalry and what happens there. And of course, they're basing some of that on the obviously the way it was in England at the time. And so I'm pretty sure that George Martin did take some inspiration from chivalry, knightly chivalry in the tournaments. So that was sort of an unchivalrous thing, I think, to do.
Yeah.
But
Like
yeah.
I keep having like this vision of them post like coming back from the tourney and she like look like just sitting on a chair like just glaring at him like, if you just told me what you were gonna do, it's fine. If you like her, it's fine. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit. I can't give you a third child. I get it. But just, communication is important.
Yes. Yeah. So, but we have this other outfit here too. So do you want to tell me about this one? This one's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one. I was saying for that one, it's
Maybe I
like
have it out of
her
order.
first. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's Elia while she's pregnant with her first child. The other one was with baby Aegon. This is with baby Rhaenys. And this is basically just her, what she would wear if she's just like chilling around the royal apartments in the Red Keep.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's not like seeing anyone. She's just like resting and being cool, or even her chilling in Dragonstone, away from all the bullshit. It's like, just chill, waiting for my baby. It's okay. And yeah, basically, I don't remember where I got this from. It's just an idea that just came up out of seemingly nowhere. I just saw her in like this loose robe,
Hmm. Yeah, well, I
just
mean, it's like
living the best
Elliot.
life.
It kind of has a feeling like, sorry, what's the other? I am Illyria
Uh,
Martell. I'm not. I don't have it in my brain right now.
you
Oberyn's
mean?
mistress.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Ilaria.
Ilaria. Sorry, yeah, it has sort of that a little bit. Are those rubies that she's got on the bodice? What kind of
Yeah, it's kind of, you know what I mean, like
the Rhaegar thing?
even if she's a chillin, she's gonna still
Hmm.
have some bling. She's a
Exactly.
princess. She Of course she's gonna have some goddamn bling. She's a
Totally.
princess.
This is something actually like I've been on Tony, I went on Tony's stream and I think I went on Justin's stream and one of the things we were talking about in Game of Thrones, the show, is that there's really not a lot of gemstones, like not a lot of bling.
I
And I'm not sure
know.
why they did that, or even like jewelry wise, you know what I mean? I think that like we were saying that in the House of the Dragon, it'd be really nice to see lots of stones.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe there's like this
Oh,
idea
sorry.
that jewelry is, I don't know, um too feminine, maybe because you can
Hmm.
like you see Sansa has her circle thing, and Daenerys has her armor, her dragon necklaces and stuff. And I and if you notice, the only ones that do have like some kind of gems is Marjorie and Sansa before she escapes King's Landing, especially in the
Yeah.
wedding. And even those aren't like gemstones. Those are like half gems, like
Yeah, they're
quartzes and
really
moonstone.
and they're kind of delicate. They're not really, like
Yeah,
heavy weighted.
yeah. So I think like the only one that I can think of, the male jewelry that they had was like Robert's crown that had
Yeah.
like those gems around the crown. If I remember correctly,
Oh,
did
hey,
Renly have?
Angel all over is
Renly
here.
might have. Oh
Hi,
hey, Angel
Hindsight.
Leva.
Hi, Hindsight. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, like because one of the things I noticed that it's not even a gender thing. It's like men and women in royalty seem to have a lot of gems. Like for instance, Rhaegar he has like rubies all over the
The
armor.
armor
Yeah.
with rubies.
Yeah. So, and there were some kings that had these really heavy crowns. They also would have lots of rings on their fingers. So Joffrey might have been a little bit, but not really too much. Oh,
Yeah.
so okay, so let me go back. So if anyone's just joining us, we're going through some of Tatiana's her designs, her costume designs that we featured in a series of videos that we did. We've also showed some of your other, in-show costume designs before, like Sansa. You've done some Sansa. You did some of Jon Snow in the past as well. But this is just specifically prequel characters that we're doing today. So let me go next. Okay, how about Lyanna Stark? Do you want to do her?
Sure.
You've got like
Sure.
4. Okay, this one here though, I think
she's a gift.
Yeah, so this is like Night of the Laughing Tree, I think, though you're referring to this one as? Perhaps?
I call her. Honestly, I saw her more as just her living her best life in Winterfell.
Mhm.
Like you know, I don't remember what episode that Bran goes back in time to see his father as a child, playing with his brother, and you see Lyanna riding up on a horse
Mhm.
as a little girl. Well, this is her, but like older, and like I put her like in Stark armor, but I wanted her to like have like a little bit of a feminine element, so that's why I put like the little leather shawl thing here. That, and if you look closely at it, it's like leather embossed with flowers. So it's like I wanted her to look like a good mix of masculine and feminine.
Oh yeah, indeed. Yeah. I think that actually we do see Ned Stark wearing a collar, kind of like this.
Yeah, a gorget. It's kind of like a gorget without
Like
being a
gorget.
gorget.
Yeah, and then she's got gloves when she's riding. She loves riding. That's sort of one of her. I love how you have her in pants. It's like she's wearing her brother's pants, like Arya.
Yeah, yeah. It's like this is her just fresh off from a good ride.
James says she likes to dress like a lunatic.
Hey,
hi James.
She don't give a shit about fashion, okay?
No.
She just be comfortable.
I think looks wise, she's said to perhaps look mostly like Arya, or Arya looks mostly like her.
Yeah, basically. That's why people were shipping Gendria so hard, including this bitch, because it's like Robert and Lyanna done right. Almost, but not quite. No.
Now we were talking about the tourney at Harrenhal and the party, right? So actually, should we do? Was the tourney the day of, and then the party, or which one do you want to do first? Do you want to do her
the tourney? The party. The tourney. With the party. Okay. The tourney. Yeah.
Okay. So
I kind of call this her prison dress, kind of, because because this is a dress that I don't think she would have worn if she had really much say on the matter. I know Lyanna, she speaks her mind, and she don't do what she do what the hell she wants. But I think in this occasion, she would have been made to wear this dress by her brothers and her father.
Yeah, because her mother would have. We don't know much about her mother, actually. Thanks, honey.
I thought she died.
She did die, yeah, but we don't really know. I don't think there's really anything mentioned about her in the books or anything. Someone in the chat can mention, but I don't think that we know much of her mother. So this would have been, she would have sort of acquiesced to the pressure, I think.
Yeah, because I think this is because in my mind, the tourney at Harrenhal was the place where they were going to announce the engagement between her and Robert. Oh, thank you, Poltergeist. And basically what I wanted to put here is I wanted her to look
nice.
I wanted her there. God, words. I wanted it to be a mixture of Stark and Baratheon, but also at the same time feel like she's caged. That's why if you can see there's some macrame in the upper part. That's kind of symbolizing a cage, a restraint. Because
by the way,
she doesn't want to marry Robert, but she's being made to.
Absolutely. And I have to say, anytime that you can implement macrame, it's a big thumbs up from me. There are a few cases where there is some macrame in Game of Thrones, but I love it. It's really kind of hip right now too, right?
Well, yeah, actually I am considering designing a wedding dress, because that's kind of where my mind is at now, because of say yes to the dress. Designing a wedding dress that has macrame implemented, and you don't see that often in wedding dresses. You see lace and you see bling, but you don't see macrame.
It would be gorgeous now, especially if you're using kind of like a metallic, if that was made out of a metallic kind of rope or cord or something.
Those cords, they would be silver and gold.
Yeah.
The cords, and then united with blue, I think blue gemstones, blue or black gemstones. And then if you look closely at the skirt, at the overskirt, you can see that has spots of white. That's just to put snow. So it looks like a blizzard, kind of like a sky during a blizzard, like a dark sky during a blizzard. If you zoom, can you zoom in?
I don't think I can. Let me try.
Oh,
I know. I'm sorry, Tatiana. You know why? Because I'm using, I apologize. I'm using I'm using StreamYard and I'm using this as an overlay. So unfortunately I can't zoom in. So if I was, sorry, if I was doing, so I will keep that in mind for next time.
Oh, it's okay. But if you look closely at the skirts, you can see that there's spots of white that look like falling snow.
Mhm.
And that's what I wanted to do with this, because the north.
Yeah, it's like
And
so you've got all these wonderful sort of elements that have been added, taking into mind. And of course, she's wearing the little padded collar that Michelle Clapton created for the series.
yeah, I put like as much details I could, like the underskirt with the white and the gold. Those are gold werewood leaves.
Mhm.
In the embroidery, you can see like the wolf and the stag. The brooch she has, the brooch she has holding the neck rolled together, that's a wolf with antlers. The hairpin she has are like snow roses. I think I like to think that the hairpin is a gift from Ned.
Oh,
Because it's
I
like,
love that. Yeah,
because
that's a
that's like
lovely idea.
because that's like the only thing that's not that's the only part of the dress that is not like tied to Baratheon. That's no or to a sigil.
Yeah,
Because
and she loves the snow roses, so that it would make sense he might have had that made for her.
yeah, like there's I try to put as much symbolism as I could into this one dress, because it was so important.
Yeah, and again, this is something that we never got to see in a flashback or anything. So if they did do a series on Robert's Rebellion, we would get to see this, but unfortunately, yeah, at this point we don't think. But then we have the okay. So this is the famous dress. This is something actually there were so many fan artist depictions of this outfit. But you had your own, obviously, and you've got Ermine in there, it looks like, which I love. Can I just say, everyone, if I don't see Ermine in House of the Dragon, I'm probably going to be really upset. But Tatiana, tell us a little bit about this costume.
Well, this costume is actually, I say this is her in the Tower of Joy.
Mm-hmm.
In
Oh,
Dorne,
okay. Sorry. Yes. Okay.
yeah, this is her in Tower of Joy, because you can see like the dress. It's I got inspired by her wedding dress to Rhaegar. Yes, you can see like from the shoulders. And this, I say, this cape is something that she brought with her from Winterfell to have like something with her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically for like when it's desert nights can be cold, so that she just wraps herself up in her home in the tower. And again, like you can see like there's nary a bit of Baratheon here. Is all blues, and I just want her to look like beautiful and soft, and just covered in roses. And if you could see closely at her, she has like Dornish jewelry. What I consider would be Dornish jewelry, which is like the bracelets that connect to a ring on her finger. And if you can see that jewelry, you can notice that they're like red. They're like rubies encrusted in there among sapphires. So it's like a small like acknowledgement of her husband. And also in the cave, you can see there's purple. So it's like a combination of red and blue. And then of course
you've got the little hint of Targaryen there. Then you got that little bit of Targaryen.
Yeah, like I wanted this to look more freer and softer than her engagement dress to Robert.
Yeah, and then you have this sort of a bit of the pleating again, like or is that pleating that you have in the skirt?
Yeah, no, that's a lot of pleating that I kind of fucked up a little bit.
No, I think it looks great. Well, like her, it was interesting with her wedding dress. in the show, because we did get to see her wedding dress in the show. Let me just go. I'll take this off for just a second. If anybody recalls, in the flashback scene when Bran goes back and sees her marrying Rhaegar, and I actually had some people, I think, told me they hated that dress. And I was like, are you kidding? I think I named it, or we named it, the best. Like, for me, it was the best dress.
Well, I think it was like one of the best.
One of the best.
Yeah.
Because Michelle designed it because it went over top of like a gold beaded gown. Like, so she had that soft sort of drape, but it was all pleated, like really finely pleated. And then she had a metallic, like she had a silver collar as opposed to the padded collars that she normally wear. And then it kind of crisscrossed, and it was just amazing.
It was so delicate, and it looked
beautiful.
It looked so delicate and free. And especially since the only other time we see her, it's either dying or encased in Stark armor, or encased like in the north. So this is like the first time we see her. It's like free, and she's all airy and beautiful, and like, aw, you're gonna die.
Okay, so well, anyway, and this is really tragic, because this then brings us to this costume, which I'm going to show you guys now. Oh, here, sorry, let me get rid of. Sorry, I'm going to remove the comment so that we can see it. Okay, there.
Yes, the bloodstained northern rose.
Mm-hmm.
So for this dress, I was in fact inspired by Sansa's crowning dress, the last dress she wears in the show.
Yeah. Now, sorry, would she be buried in this, or what was the idea? When would she be wearing this, or is this just a fantasy idea?
In my fantasy, she managed to her body managed to not rot away on the trip to Winterfell, because that would take a bit of a while, especially since Ned stopped by Starfall to give
on the way. Yes.
Yeah. So he took a detour to go up
because he has to return. What does he have to return? The sword.
The sword. Yeah, the sword of the morning.
Sword of the morning to Ashara.
Dawn. He has to.
Dawn. He has to return. Yeah, Dawn. Oh my gosh! It's so funny. We're talking about this stuff, and I'm like, it feels like years. It feels so long ago.
Oh, Dawn! I totally agree with you about that casting choice in the wedding.
We agree. And actually, and that's the other thing. Sorry to go back to that wedding gown, but I feel like Rhaegar was not her equal in his outfit either. I didn't feel that he should have had an equally stunning.
Basic.
Boring. What's basic?
It's like okay. I get it. I get that you guys ran away together and didn't exactly plan everything out to the T. But where would she have gotten that dress in Dorne? The Danes. You don't think that Arthur Dane would have told his bro, hey, look, bro, it's fine. I got you. Here's this badass wedding outfit that you will look great in. You can put your Targaryen sigil over it if you want, the Targaryen best shit over it if you want to have the sigil, because sure. But come on.
I would have had him in his armor. I would have had him in his armor, at least some of his armor.
I mean, I don't know.
He would have had it. He would have had the. Well, he ends up going to the Trident with it. Like, he would have had it, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but I think he goes from the Tower of Joy to King's Landing and then to the Trident, because he would have to stop by King's Landing to go to the Trident, because the Trident is further north.
Aeson didn't mind it. She didn't mind. I thought I think Viserys's costumes were better than his costumes.
Yeah. I mean, the casting of Rhaegar.
I can't say anything. I got in trouble. I got in trouble when I made a comment about it. I was told I was being shallow, which I was, but she said his wig was awful.
Here's the biggest problem with the casting of Rhaegar. That fucking wig, we could not see his face. I couldn't see his fucking face. How do you expect me to say, damn, I wish I could take him and took him and climb like Tarzan if I can't see his fucking face? I don't give a shit if he's tall. But like once the promo pictures came in and you could like, and he's like looking up into the distance, not even at fucking Lyanna, he's just looking into the distance and you can see his face.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, that was cute. He good looking. I can see why they casted him, but that fucking goddamn ready ass Party City wig kind of ruined the magic. Yeah. Especially since I was imagining him more as like a gorgeous Thranduil Legolas motherfucker.
Yeah, hindsight says, yeah, hindsight says that she thought that Viserys's outfit was better fitting. I think it was just a nicer costume. Like he has one that has the scale, like, he had that beautiful, it was actually salmon skin, I discovered, but a really nice stand-up.
You know what I think happened? I think they had designed a costume and made a costume for Viserys that they ended up not using. So that when the flashback scene with Rhaegar happened, it's like, oh well, we have this extra outfit that Viserys didn't wear, so it hasn't shown up in the show. So let's just throw it off. They're just throwing off because they're more or less similar height. So yeah, and this is basically an extra. He don't even speak. He might be like one of the most important characters in the prequel in the history lore of the show, but he don't speak, so who gives a fuck, right?
People were looking forward to it. It was so important. Like, I think they should have done camera tests with the two actors together to see if they had the proper chemistry, because I don't think there was any chemistry there. It felt weird and awkward for me. And, but I did love her costume. I was upset because we didn't get really a good glimpse of it, but then at least they did some good photos of it. So that made me very happy.
Rhaegar was late to the wedding, no time to get dressed.
Oh yeah. Sorry, hindsight. I did think you were a woman.
Sorry.
I shouldn't have gendered you. I have a bad habit of doing that.
Sorry, we should have said at least they.
They, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, too brief of a scene for chemistry. I don't know. I've seen some pretty hot scenes that have happened in like seconds.
Okay. It's kind of like the producers or the creators or the showrunners. They tried to have the chemistry based on what the audience already knew. Like if you told them, since they told us that they were in love, since they told us this happened and that happened and that happened, then of course we will automatically see the chemistry, even though it's really not there.
I just want to say your tiara is really sparkling over there. I'm not getting that same kind of sparkle on mine, which is maybe makes me a bit upset.
I think it's because my lamp is like right there.
Oh, your light is hitting it? Okay. Yeah. Because mine just looks like plastic and yours is like all beautifully sparkly. Okay,
girl,
so let's
this did cost like $1,000. Like $20 for that.
Okay, so let me go back to, we're going to go back to this costume. So you were telling me this is the idea with this is what Lyanna would be wearing when
she's buried, basically.
She's buried. Okay. Sure. So tell us a little bit about it.
So because thanks to goddamn Game of Thrones, I now have an obsession with hanging sleeves. Like if I got married and I'm actually give me a second. Like give me 1 second.
Oh, thanks, hindsight. I appreciate it.
I don't know. Something happened. I'm here.
Okay, I hear you. No problem.
Like, can you put me back into the main page?
Sure. Expecting me to do technical stuff here. There you are.
Oh, girl, it's your show. So basically, this is like what my ideal wedding dress would be. Like I'm
Oh,
designing
beautiful.
it,
Oh, it's
and you can
amazing.
see that it has hanging sleeves
Yes.
right there because like I'm now obsessed with them.
Yeah, actually,
And
that's the scallops there. I've seen a dress like that. Where have I seen that? I think it's a Victorian dress where you have those layered kind of scallops like that you have.
I actually got in. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for?
Inspired?
I kind of got inspired by one of Sansa's dresses. Yeah, she wears in the north that has like I don't know how you call them. I think it's the dress she wears when she finds out that Arya's an assassin. I think that it looks like it looks like a fish pattern. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. The black one, or sort of a blue black? It's kind of
Yeah,
that
kind of
high
like
neck.
that.
Yeah, that
Kind
one.
of,
Oh
yeah.
my God, that was one of my favorite costumes. It was wasted in
Yeah.
the show. They didn't use it enough.
Filters her, bitch. You can go back to the picture.
I thought it was painted like painted feathers or something, perhaps. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, and I kind of got inspired by that, but it's basically again dragon scale pattern too.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Because he could understand. Ned could understand his sister, and if you see like the hanging sleeves, the embroidery on the hanging sleeves is similar to Sansa's grand sleeve, where you can see like the weirwood leaves like falling and drying into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's that plus the dying blue snow roses.
Oh, that's sad. They're kind of like withering.
Yeah, like with withering weirwood leaves and blue roses. You can see in the ground, you can see that they're not as full as the ones that are falling.
So where did the green come from? I'm curious about that.
Well, the green is because you know that in the show they added the green to the Stark family sigil, and I feel like they didn't use green enough.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you look at the show sigil of the Stark family.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, they were a little bit on that.
Yeah, they added the green, and I feel like green isn't my favorite color. It's purple, but I feel like they could have used more green in this show because they didn't use a lot of green for say the Tyrells, because the Tyrells family sigil is green and gold, but they instead of green they used blue, which I get it with like the red, and like with the red and the green it might have looked like Christmas. I get it, but I feel like they could have used more green. I just need to see more green. Especially
actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, and you have to kind of really look closely, but some of the Stark men do wear green cravats, but a very soft green. It's not like kind of like a soft green like you have there. But yeah, I completely forgot that there's green because I was thinking of gray. But yeah, there is a little bit of green.
They usually only use like greens or grays or like cool blues. Sorry, cool whites. Not green. It's like grays and whites and cool blues. There is very little green, which is like true. But why? And again, it's not just the Starks. It's also like the Tyrells. And this is a place where the families dress in their colors, in their family colors, to better, differentiate one from the other. So yes, there have been green parts of costumes, like Marjorie's fabulous cape when she's introduced with the thing in the middle that I think the shoulder part was in green, and she also had like a green scarf.
Yeah, because she was aligned kind of with that's when she was aligned with the other Baratheon, her first husband.
Renly.
Yeah, Sigil had that almost like a bright green.
Yeah, it's a bright green, but even before that, because the Baratheon sigil is gold and black. It's gold and black, but hers is green and gold. So green is part of her family sigil. Not just.
No, I remember reading, and I, this is of course ages ago, that one of the reasons why they kind of went more to the blues on the show is to show that they wanted to be less threatening to the the Tyrells wanted to be less threatening to the Lannisters, so they went with kind of more blues as opposed to greens. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah, I think I think they show the aqua blue to make, or the teal blues to make it more obvious the opposition between the Lannisters, between Cersei and Marjorie.
Yeah, no, Lyanna definitely didn't want to marry Robert, for sure. She didn't.
Which I get it, because like red and blue, hot and cold, we get it.
Yeah.
But again, green is not my favorite color. I don't wear a lot of green. But it would have been nice to have seen the color more. So I'm saying. Yeah,
absolutely.
Maybe they could have used a lot of green because of green screen. Because they would have just disappeared.
Yeah, that's a great point. You might be right. That's a great point, Tatiana. Okay, so are you okay then if maybe we can move on to, actually I have this one picture I was going to show. It's it doesn't have a background, but we didn't end up using this in the video. Because I don't think we used it in the video, did we? Ilaria, we didn't get to her.
I don't think so.
But I wanted to.
No.
I just wanted to add this because I found it in with your pictures, and I thought you might want to. Sorry, I can hide myself there.
It's fine. No, but yeah, this is Ilaria.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember what I called this. I think it's like Poison Victory.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's when she's feeling like her oats the most. And I just like again with the green. I wanted to see some green, and you think green, you think poison, and she's a poisoner, like her nut husband. And like I just want, and again, the actress that plays Ilaria is so mind-numbingly gorgeous.
Oh God,
I wanted to see like a slit, like a slit on her dresses, because like why wouldn't she have a fucking slit? Like, girl.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
I don't know if anybody here has seen Kama Sutra. She's in Kama Sutra. It's a great movie.
I haven't, but I have seen her on Carnival Row.
Yes. But in Kama Sutra, she's sort of like she's an Indian courtesan. And her costumes are just stunning in it. And of course, she's a little bit younger, but she's, the Poltergeists are, they love your work here, Tatiana.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to throw that in.
I actually designed this in England when I was studying in England. I only had like a notebook and 24 colored pencils to
by the way, I love her boots that you did here. This is something we don't get to see a lot of, are the shoes, right?
Yeah, it's like, I think this will be like, you know how army people and Navy people, they have like a formal uniform.
Mm-hmm.
I think this kind of be like, it's kind of like her formal armor. Mm-hmm. Because like the shoulder spikes, those would be made in metal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So like
epaulets. It makes her like epaulets.
It'd be cool it would be cool if they were tipped with poison. Wouldn't that be cool? So if you put your hand on there, you would actually die from.
Of course, and if she needs to shove someone, it's like hiya.
Yeah, at the wrist guards. Yeah, so like in the show, they used a lot of this sort of scale or stamped leather, like tooled leather. So she's got a lot of that on there, I guess, as well as what that's sort of
the belt and the cross belts and on the chest. That's a snake print kind of
beautiful
thing.
It's gorgeous. Okay, do you mind? So maybe what we'll do, like we're going to go a little long here, but let's do Jenny. Do you want to do Jenny of Oldstone? So we've got two outfits for her. We'll do this one first because I think this is the order, right? You want to do this one first?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is basically. So this in particular,
This is such a
I have
detailed rendering, by the way, because you've got, normally you don't do a full-on background like this. So this is quite detailed.
Well, funny thing, because I have been researching so many goddamn images, and I see all these images, and you see the backgrounds. The backgrounds are amazing, and they're so detailed. I'm like, I kind of started feeling like very, very like self-conscious and like a little bit of the inferiority complex like started like creeping in. It's like, you know what? I'm going to prove that I can also do backgrounds. You're not the only one who can do backgrounds. I can do backgrounds. So basically, I decided that I wanted to make Jenny of Old Stones and Prince Duncan frolicking through the forest as they fall in love when they meet. And basically, I wanted him to look high class, but at the same time comfortable. Like I want him to like relax and loose, but he still looks like his status. So that's why.
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
That's why he looks cleaner.
It's very princely, Prince Charmingly. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like Prince Charming from Snow White kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah, I absolutely see that. And he's got his shirt open, so it's a little bit sexy.
Yeah, of course. He
has to be sexy. Yeah, the poltergeist say this looks like a Scandinavian fairy tale. I agree. I was going to say it's kind of like a faux costume.
Actually, her costume, Jenny's costume, I got it from Viking women, from the fashion of Viking women. And if you see like, and you can't zoom in, but if you can see closely, there's like this hanging beads on her chest, on her bodice, and that's basically what Viking women used to use as basically like a purse. Like it's like that's like a chest purse, because that's where they will put like their scissors and their money bag and their tools. And then because I took a lot of inspiration from like different cultures in Eastern Europe. Because if you can see like the embroidery on her skirt and on her sleeves, that's from Polish designs that you showed in the Midsommar video.
Yes, I adore that. Immediately, I love, and also it's interesting that you did that because a lot of Viking folklore, it has a lot of crossover from Scandinavian, so that totally works in my brain. But I want to know, what's the deal with the ribbons, the pink ribbons? What's that? I love that.
I wish I had I have a book that's about like historical costumes, historical images, and that is actually an apron from, I don't remember what Eastern European country it is from, but it was like it was an image of I think like a shepherdess, that she had these really beautiful, was it Polish? Was it Swedish? It was somewhere around there, that had like this beautiful embroidered apron with these. Angel Lover, I'm doing the same thing with oh god damn it, Edith Head. I am harassing her for.
Well, Tatiana's going to do the Edith Head with me, so we have to do the Edith Head together. James is perfect outfit for him to stomp grapes at the winery. Tatiana, before we move on, can Hindsight has a question for you. Tatiana, were these illustrations done completely by hand, even coloring it? They're gorgeous.
Yes,
that's a lovely comment.
All this was blood, sweat, tears, and watercolor. I just love to draw. It focuses my mind. It makes me calm down. It relaxes me. It makes me focus on something that I love to do, and I like to create costumes. Like I'm bad at like doing sets and stuff, because like before that you need like hard math, or else everything will come tumbling down, and it's not like awesome.
Oh yeah. No, same with me in theater school. We had to do sets. Yeah. You know what I did like, and you probably would like too, is did you ever do set painting? That is really fun.
At one point in my undergrad, they were doing a play, and I helped paint the floors, and that was kind of fun. But like I'm actually constructing a bit of a model for a class that I have now, because it's creative collaboration, but the professor is a set designer, so she's making us do like, we have a producing project where we have to come up with like basically how to make a play, an off-Broadway play, and in it are like the set models for set play, and my play is Hunchback of Notre Dame in Spanish. So I basically am trying to build like a mini model of the front facade of Notre Dame, and then
do you do that in quarter scale? That's we used to have to do in school.
Yeah, basically. Like let me grab like one thing.
Sure. And Hindsight has another question. Can you still hear me? Because he's saying, that's impressive, Tatiana. Most illustrations done these days are done through computer. Not trying to knock computer illustrations, but they don't quite have the same magical feel as hand drawings do. I have to say, actually, Michelle Clapton did all of her renderings by hand. She did all her costume designs by hand. Hey, Tatiana, Michelle Clapton. Oftentimes what happens is, oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, this is basically like the basic construction for the Notre Dame facade. This would be where the rose window is. This would be like the entrances. Over here is like a balcony that's gonna be in there for Quasimodo and the gargoyles and stuff. So yeah, and I also have to do a chimney and a platform and some tables and chairs and stuff, and like it's like I'm better with a pencil. Can I just sketch it out for you, and then you can just here do it.
Poltergeist is saying we should do a Clockwork Orange. Actually, okay, so I have that on my list. It's Stanley Kubrick. I think I'm just going to go through every Stanley Kubrick movie and do them. You know, like I have it on my list.
You can totally do Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon.
Barry Lyndon, we have to do for sure. Yeah, because it's it won an Oscar.
I have never seen the movie, but I have never seen the movies, but I have seen like scenes, and the costumes are insane.
The next, actually, Poltergeist, the next Stanley Kubrick one I'm going to do is 2001: A Space Odyssey. I've decided to do that.
So, of course, I've seen Notre Dame from Disney. That's one of my favorite movies. Excuse you. The music is beyond the way. Why do you think I'm doing it right now for class?
Tatiana is a huge Disney lover. Like, she may not have seen all of the MCU, but she's seen everything by Disney. She is a Disney princess.
Except the live action remakes, because after Lion King, no more. No,
I haven't seen them either.
More.
No, I haven't seen them. Although I heard Moana.
Moana is not live action. Moana.
No, wait, sorry. Not Moana. There's another one that's live action.
Are you saying Mulan?
Mulan, yeah, Mulan. You haven't seen that?
Not interested. What I've heard about it and what I've seen of it, not impressed. Like, okay, yeah, cinematography is pretty.
Yeah, I have to just say, this is totally off topic. I love your curtains. Where are you?
Forever.
Where are you?
I'm in a corner of my room. Like, I know I usually do these things by your
boas.
Yeah, usually my boas and shit. But like, I was running late, and I would have to make an entire setup on the other side of my room, and it's like, ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, hi, Vanessa.
Vanessa, we were talking about you. We were talking about you, Vanessa.
If you want to come in, feel free.
Yeah. So Vanessa, we were talking about you because what we're doing was we were just talking about the series that we did. So Vanessa, who's in the chat, Vanessa Amnesty, she was one of our co-producers on this series of Game of Thrones videos that we did. And Tatiana and Vanessa did the research on it, and then I put it together. And Tatiana chose the music, which was fabulous. I love it. And actually Epidemic Sound has great music, don't they? Like I've had so much fun because on the last video I did Marie Antoinette. The music was so fun to choose. I had a really great time with that. So anyway, what we were talking about is the illustrations, the costume illustrations that Tatiana did for our video series, because we never really got to talk about it. And in the video, there were so many, I think there were like 200 images per video. So it just went by boom, boom, boom. So now we're going to talk about this. It is sort of tied into the show though. And that is the Jenny of Old Stones song.
Yeah.
Which they had done, which is so beautiful. And Tatiana can sing it.
1 second. Give me a second.
Vanessa, I hope you're doing well. She says, I have to rewatch the stream. Just got home from the supermarket.
So that I can do this shit.
She says Vanessa says, I'm excited for House of the Dragon because I know the costumes are going to be great. And then she loves Tatiana's illustrations. Actually, before we end the stream today, Tatiana's just getting something. But before we end the stream, we'll have a quick little chat about House of the Dragon. And after we go through Tatiana's, I don't know what she's doing over there. There's no drinking involved today. So we're a completely sober live stream. So yeah, there's no antics like that today, everyone. So anyone who was in our 24-hour live stream last time. Tatiana, have I lost you? She's gone. She'll be back. Anyway, yeah. So actually, one thing I'm going to mention before Tatiana gets back is that if you guys want to keep up on what's going on with the new House of the Dragon show, I recommend highly, highly, highly checking out The Dragon Demands. He has a really great channel, and I put a link below to his channel. Actually, him and I often talk to each other. I was hoping he might have popped in today, but he's not here because he does complete breakdowns, all the industry news going on about it, the casting, stuff I don't usually get into. So if you want to check that out, his link is in the description. Hello, darling.
Hi. Sorry. I was trying to find.
Did you go run around the block? What's going on?
Sorry, I was trying to find the book that I use as inspiration for some of my costumes.
Oh, okay, no problem. Oaktown girl, she says she loves the colors in your dress. It is very pretty.
Oh, thank you. It's like one of my favorite dresses. It's just really comfortable.
What's the temperature like there, by the way, where you are today?
Around the 80s. Easy.
Oaktown girl says she
90s.
found me through the Dragon Demands. That's really nice. I was just saying I put the Dragon Demands link in the description because he's doing all the breakdown of House of the Dragon, and he's like totally on top of everything. Like it's amazing. So I was just saying at the end, we can maybe have a quick little chat about House of the Dragon. So let's go back. So we're going to talk about Jenny of Old Stones. Did you want to do a little singing? It's up to you. I don't want to put you on the spot.
I mean, I'm not warmed up, but sure.
Okay. We won't do it this time then.
I can do it. Okay. I will do it.
Oh.
High in the halls of the kings who are gone, Jenny would dance with her ghosts, the ones she had lost and the ones she had found, and the ones who loved her the most, the ones who've been gone for so very long. She couldn't remember the names. They spun her around the cobblestones, spun away her sorrow and pain, and she never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave.
Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous. Yeah, actually, I don't think you had sung that. Oh, it's been ages. Like it feels like ages now, right?
Yeah, I only know like the first half. The second half always like gives my brain.
Yeah. So anyway, by the way, the Dragon Demands just said, speaking of, he must have been hearing us talking about him. He's on Twitter said, I missed it, but I told him, no, we're still here. So maybe he will pop in because he can help out a lot with. So do you want to, okay, so this is obviously, never wanted to leave. And I have to apologize because when I did the screen grab of this, it shows the record symbol in the corner there. So that's not meant to be there. Ignore it. Over top of your name. So yeah. So do you want to tell us about this? This is another fully illustrated illustration.
Yeah, not just fully illustrated, fully filtered because it's a filter. It passed through a filter.
Oh, it passed through a filter. Okay.
Yeah. So this, I just had this idea of her dancing with Duncan in the ruins of Summer Hall, and him basically. If you can see, there's like flowers coming out of him. And that's basically like the memory. She's actually dancing alone, but she's like dancing with the ghost of her love. And this is, and if you can see,
sorry,
a
can
little
you remind me? Does he die at Summer Hall? I forget. Yeah, he dies in the fire, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they most of them die along, and it's also suspected that she also dies. They die again.
Sure.
In Summer Hall, and for this, I was inspired by the Italian Renaissance. Like I wanted it to be Italian Renaissance inspired. Like, although after I finished it and I went back to illustrations of the Italian Renaissance, I realized that I forgot the little cape thing, they had in the back that made it so ugly. I forgot to add that. That
like
was
a Watteau, like the Watteau cape at the back.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
It could be an English gown.
Sure. It's Italian English inspired.
It's just interesting.
Renaissance.
Yeah, exactly. But I love the bottom of the gown, like that, the sort of ombre you have there.
Yeah, that's because I wanted her to look. I wanted there to be like as if she's like in this bubble of fantasy, but it's all eroding around her, and she's like burning as she's dancing in a way. That's why you can see like in the middle, you can see everything is like all pristine. She's clean and she's young, and he's young and he's beautiful. But on the edges, you can see like her dress is burned, her hair is turning gray. The castle in the edges looks burned and destroyed and ruined. I wanted there to be like this dichotomy of reality versus fantasy.
I love
basically,
it. So
in his outfit, the silver lines, that's to make it look like dragon skin, not dragon scale.
Oh yeah,
dragon skin.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and since he gave up the throne, he doesn't have like a big crown saying, "Oh, I'm the crown prince." It's more just him, just like a circlet, like saying, "Oh yes, I'm from the royal family, but I'm not the crown prince."
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to. Okay, so of your illustrations, all right, so we've got 3 left to do. And then maybe we can have a quick chat about House of the Dragon if you want to before we finish up the stream today. So the last ones I have are the 3 Targaryen, like the sister wives. And I'm just going to put it here. Aegon. So we have Aegon and the sister wives. So these ones are actually, you did a front and a back of these ones, which is different than normally what you do, but because you had so much detail. So, so anybody, this was in the Targaryen. Okay. So we had Aegon in the men's Targaryen costume video. And then we had who did we have? Rhaenys and Viserys. What's her name again?
Visenya.
Visenya. Sorry. In the female one. So we'll start with Aegon, I guess, since he's the big guy.
Yes. So with Aegon, I had this image that the Targaryen dynasty, at least in its infancy, was like the Byzantine Empire, because you know how people consider Valyria to be like the Roman Empire before its destruction, and of course the successor to that was the Byzantine Empire. Although I will say that I think Valyria is actually modeled less on the Romans and more on the Minoans from the island of Crete. Because if you know, no, it's not. It's earlier than Greek.
Sure,
it's earlier than Greek. Either earlier than Greek or around the same time. I think earlier. If you know the history of the Minoans, they were a great civilization on the island of Crete that got destroyed by a volcano, by a volcanic eruption, a gigantic volcanic eruption on the Aegean Sea. Does that sound like anything? They were also great seafarers, and I think they conquered.
Yeah, so it's 1100. Sorry, it's 1100 BC during the early Greek Dark Ages. So it's very early.
Yeah, so it's like early.
Yeah. So you're inspired by.
Yeah, that if because I do have a mind to design costumes for Valyria, but I'm not looking into like Greek fashion. I'm looking into Minoan fashion because there's like the only ruin left of the Minoans is like this castle in Crete, like this ruined castle in Crete that has like mosaics of like the women how they dressed and the men how they dressed, and the women, they were all boobs out. They love to just nipples out, free the nipple. They freed the nipple before it was cool.
Totally. Yeah, that's a very famous fresco, I think. And the women are wearing kind of like bowl, like almost like a
and they had like this. They had like this really, because they were fabulous. Like they like this really tight tops with like tits out, and then this gorgeous skirts that had like different panels of different colors. Like that's where my mind is going for the Valyrians. Like they were like that. And then the men were like particularly skimpy because from what we see of the men, they only wore like speedos, like ancient speedos, ancient leather speedos, and also like to play with bulls.
Yeah, like culturally speaking, they had a very different attitude toward being naked or nudity, I should say.
Yeah. In those times, nudity didn't mean it didn't mean like scandalo. It meant poverty. Like if you were naked, you weren't vulgar, you were just poor.
Yeah. But even then, like, you would see Greek men would wear just a cloak. They wouldn't wear anything else underneath it.
They got like a hemation. I knew this goddamn things, a chlamys, and all that shit.
So obviously you've gone for red and black.
Yes. I wanted to work with like different, because this is something that I learned from my costume professor in undergrad. Mm-hmm. If you have to use one color, use as many variations of that color as you can.
Sure.
So that's why with him, actually with the Valyrians, with the three big Valyrians, Targaryens, sorry. I got inspired by both the Byzantine Empire and by the Egyptians. We're going right back into the Egyptians, because if you see because for Aegon, we can start with Aegon, the collar here, this collar is both Egyptian because they had this, but it's also Byzantine because Byzantine collars went all the way up to the neck. Mm-hmm. If you see Egyptian collars, they stay in the chest, but Byzantine went all the way up to the necks.
Yeah, and there's Justin, the Byzantine Emperor Justin, I think is. Sorry, Justine. Yeah, there's a very famous portrait. I think it's a mosaic, actually.
Yeah, it's
showing
mosaic. It's in the highest. I think it's in the Hagia Sophia.
Yeah, isn't this a wonderful thing about history and being able to look back? And I mean, many costume designs, you'll oftentimes see that that's what they do. They borrow because nothing's really new, nothing's unique. But so I love that, and you've obviously included those giant rubies.
Yeah,
from his
because
crown.
they said that he had a big heavy crown with rubies. So I added both rubies and like onyxes, like smaller onyxes, which is like the black dots that you see around.
Mm-hmm.
That.
What's
Also,
the? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
you were saying?
I was just going to ask you. So, what's that sort of kind of like? It has a bit of a Celtic knot feel. What's that?
Yeah,
Like that
it
little.
is. It is actually Celtic knots, because that's another thing that I get inspired by, because I love me some Celtic knots.
Me too.
They're very hard to do, but I really wanted to do them, and they're actually throughout all three Targaryens, because royalty. And this, I think, is the Celtic knot symbol of protection.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Don't quote me on this, but I think. And also the silver scales, those silver things that are going down the middle of the main outfit, those are scales. And actually the main outfit that you see, the mantle dress-ish thing, that's actually inspired by Egyptians, because I saw an image of an Egyptian pharaoh going to war, and this is basically the Egyptian pharaoh's war outfit. It was like really tight, really ended up in the sleeves and went down to mid thigh, mid calf. And then the shoes, the boots, those are more Byzantine. If you see like Byzantine images, the boots will look like that. They have like the cross garters, I guess you could call them. And the sash is also a big thing in Egyptian.
Yes, you see on pharaohs and that. I was going to say, actually, and I love that, because even Dani, you see a lot of her costumes have a lot of Egyptian influence, like, and she's living in a pyramid,
Yeah, the cobra thing.
Exactly, and then also the pleating, like the Egyptians did a lot of pleating, and a lot of Dani's costumes are pleated and had that center, like that middle center sort of. I think it's called a girdle.
Yeah, and the dragon in the back. I didn't want
What's
to
that about?
copy.
I'm kidding.
I didn't want to copy the
show. Yeah.
The show sigil. And I wanted it to look more ancient and Celtic.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would see pictures of people of Celtic images of dragons and stuff, and you can see like they will have like the Celtic knots inside the images of the dragons. So and also the Vikings, because I went to Oslo, I went to the Viking museum, and you could see a lot of that in the ships, because they had like 2-3 Viking ships in there. So basically, this entire outfit is a mixture of Egyptian, Byzantine, and Celtic.
Mm-hmm.
And like I wanted to kind of put in the Six Kingdoms, because at this point Aegon hasn't conquered Dorne. Aegon never conquered Dorne, so Dorne is not part of the Seven Kingdoms. So there's really 6 kingdoms, and then Dorne. So that's why.
Yeah, sword for every, and you gave color from each of the regions, I guess, for the swords. Is that what you did?
Yeah, that's what I did. Like the first one is the Starks, then it's Starks. The North, the Erie, the North, the Erie, Riverrun, the Riverlands, the Westerlands, the Reach, and then the Stormlands. With like the Starks, the I forgot the Aarons, sorry, the Aarons, the Tullys, the Lannisters, the Tyrells, formerly Gardeners, and then the Baratheons.
Mhm.
That's basically the and him and the dragon being on top of them all, like securing his
Oh yeah,
rule.
yeah. The 3-headed dragon too, which is very
Yeah.
important.
Of course. So the
Okay.
dragons must always have 3 heads.
Yeah. So okay. So then, speaking of, do you want to show the other? We'll show the sister wives. So I've got what do I have here? Visenya's here. Okay. So
Yes.
with similar themes, obviously. Now, let me just ask you, because I noticed that also on Aegon, you have sort of like almost like a cracked texture on the cloak. Like, and I noticed. So what's that about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I wanted it to look dry, like reptilian, like.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Like that's something like what I tried to do. I don't love how it looks in Aegon's one, because the gold is supposed to be silver and gold, but the gold doesn't show very well, so I have to like maybe pass it through with a brighter gold so you can see the shine. So, but yeah.
Yeah, or even like, you can get those metallic, you can get those metallic pens even like that.
Yeah, well, that was a metallic. That was a metallic.
Oh, it is a metallic. Oh, sorry. Well, this is just, and everybody, for you to know, this is just a photo. Like, it's like I think a camera photo, Tatiana, you did, right? Of this.
Yeah.
And then I've just basically done a cutout of it, the background. So it's actually, wait a second.
Yes.
Am I able to? No, okay. I thought I was able to. Sorry, never mind. I thought I was able to zoom in, but I can't. All right. So, do you want to tell us a bit about this girl?
This is my home girl, Visenya.
Yeah, this is Vanessa's favorite character. She loves her so much. Okay, this is her coronation outfit.
Yes. So for her, she's even more inspired by the Byzantine Empire, because this is I got inspired by that goddamn book. If I could find it, I would show you, or could not find it. I know it's here because it's what I use to do all these goddamn costumes, but we'll keep going. We'll keep chewing. It's fine. There was an illustration of a Byzantine queen. Not sure which one. I'm not sure if it was Theodora or whatever. But she had this cape thing that like ended here and then went down here, and it was like all very billowy, and I just thought, oh my god, this looks like Visenya. And my initial thought was actually to make the entire cape, the cape robe thing, because it's like a cape robe thing, to make it entirely of dragon scales, of metallic dragon scales.
Oh wow!
Kind of like that cape that Charlize Theron wears in like Snow White.
Oh god,
yeah, like,
that's amazing.
I like that, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But then I realized, holy shit, this is going to take me forever to do, and my hand is tired. So I said, let's just do like this around, like the arounds. Let's do like the arounds. It doesn't have to be everything, but like, yeah, the edges, and the edges is basically metal dragon scales. And then if you can see in the arms, there are what's it called? It has armbands, and those armbands are made of metal with rubies, but they show skin, so they have like holes where you can show the skin. What I wanted her to look, I wanted her to look both sexy and conservative. It's like peekaboo. It's like, there's something. There's something in there, but I'm not gonna show you, because it's like I see her just coming in like the queen that she is, sitting down, and Aegon asked her to dance. If he asked her to dance, she takes it off. She takes off the robe to reveal this gorgeous fuck off dress, and then like goes by the way, I will say strapless because fuck you, that's why. And she just goes and just dance with her husband, being fabulous, because that's who she fucking is. Even he might not love her, but that don't mean that she's fucking fabulous.
Yeah, exactly. No, I probably will do Snow White and the Huntsman, actually, for sure. I've done I think I've done one Colleen Atwood movie so far, maybe two.
Yeah.
So it's just so many costumes. So, it's just so many costumes that are amazing.
Time. Yeah, it's like,
this is just gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what about her headpiece and her, her hairnet and all that? Her crown.
Actually, funny that you're talking about Snow White again, because the hair was loosely inspired by Charlize Theron's hairstyle during her wedding to the king, before she killed him. That she that she has like this beautiful kind of like hair netty-esque thing.
Oh god, yeah.
They do with the hair, like honestly, okay. So first things first. If you do Charlize Theron, Charlize Theron's costumes for Snow White and the Huntsman, you have to put Aaron in this, because Aaron actually worked on the set as a costume assistant.
Oh, I didn't know he worked on Snow White and the Huntsman.
Oh, he did.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's very cool.
So we will browbeat him into being in the goddamn stream when you talk about about these costumes.
Oh, by the way, Tatiana, I just want to mention something. Oh, Asun, I've got her up here. I just realized she's got her Agatha doll. That's a picture of her doll there that she did from WandaVision. Can you see it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So it's
a full. He's such an amazing doll maker.
She's amazing. Yeah. So that's only the head though. So it's a full body doll. It's on her it's on her Twitter account. I shared it on Twitter. I shared it in Facebook, I believe. Hindsight says Theron said her wedding dress in Snow White and the Huntsman was the most difficult costume to wear because of the train and corset. Yeah.
Oh, hi, 30 days.
Hey, 30 days. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, that's too bad. Well, we're glad you're here. We're going to be here for a little while longer. Yes, we're doing great. I hope you're well. Nice to see you. So Tatiana, 30 days, Tatiana's showing us some of her gorgeous costume designs. So we're just finishing up a few here. So Tatiana, anything else you want to say here?
Yeah. So this also has Celtic designs. If you can see in the dragon and in the, you can see a little bit in the little aside I used in the like next to her back. You can see that this is the Triskelion.
Yep. Just below her collar.
On her collar and on the dragon, there's the Triskelion, and then there's of course the 6 kingdoms in swords, and then honestly, in this one, it might be a bit weird, but I did kind of inspire myself a little with the Aztecs. Yeah. I know. Hear me out. The design of the circular orb carrying the dragon, it kind of a little bit made me think of the Aztecs and how they did their art. So that's where it comes from, but it's also Celtic and it's more Byzantine. This is more Byzantine than Aegon's. And this crown is like the high crown. It's also inspired by the Byzantines, but not to the same extent, because the Byzantines were they had huge crowns. I was like, So that's where
they would have had to have had a crown, like a crown liver, like a crown assistant to take it off when
like a crown spotter, to make
crown spotter. Yeah, exactly. Kind of just the crown keeper to so that if it started falling off or something.
Yeah. So Yeah, this is what it is, and the dress also has dragon scale patterns.
Mhm.
I put dragon scale patterns on everything Targaryen, so anything even remotely like Targaryen, dragon scales. Just throw them in
Absolutely.
there.
Okay, so then finally, do you want anything? Have anything else before we go to Rainey's?
I don't think so. I'm good.
Okay, so we're going to do this one next.
Ah,
Now
I
for
think
something completely different.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So this, you know how Aegon is like a combination of like Egyptian and Byzantine.
Yeah, there he is.
Visenya is mostly Byzantine. Well, Rhaenys is mostly Egyptian.
Okay.
Because if you see, because the Egyptians, they were very comfortable with their bodies,
Mhm.
and they didn't really mind nakedness. If you see the it looks like like the chain, it looks almost like chainmail over the dress. If you can see it.
Yes. Yeah,
Well, that is
there's
inspired.
yeah.
That is inspired by these dresses that they had, that they were like skin tight, and they were only made out of like either metal or beads or like wood chips or stuff, and it would be like skin tight, and that would be like the only thing they would wear. And
Mhm.
all that, you will see boobs out, vaginas out, everything out, and they would just like go there. They would just go like that to the market and just live their best lives. It'd just be fabulous. They wouldn't wear anything under it. Of course,
Yeah,
this being me.
I've seen some photos of those, which I'm not sure if they're actual examples or if they're reproductions, because so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then and with her, and you know that Rhaenys, she's being the flirt, and she's like very comfortable with herself, and she had lovers. She knows how gorgeous she is. She
Mhm.
knows she has the king in the palm of her hand.
Vanessa
So
rock star.
yeah, so where you saw that Visenya had like her hair done up in the with the hairnet and the braids. Well, with with Rhaenys, you know that you said that she always had her hair down. Well, I wanted to have her hair down, but I also wanted it to be like styled and gorgeous and fabulous. And if you see that, like her crown is smaller than Visenya's, because she's like the second queen.
Mhm.
She's not like the crown queen. She's like the second queen. And you also see, and you can see, unlike Visenya and I was gonna say Rhaegar and Aegon, her dragon isn't encased in an orb or anything. It's like it's fully free.
Yeah.
Because she was like that. She was a free bird. She didn't give a shit. She flew wherever the hell she wanted. And basically, I honestly, I do love, if you see like on the pictures of the back side of the dress, you can see like her hairstyle and her hair accessories. In the middle, those are hair beads that she would wear around her. She would wear on her hair. They can see placed on her hairstyle. And then
Yes.
on the far
Yeah.
on the far right, the dragon thing, that's like a hairpin that she would wear in her hair, like on top.
Mhm.
And then you can see like the hanging beads on in the main picture. You can see like the hanging beads. That would be basically that's also inspired by the Byzantines, that they had like hanging things on their crowns. And basically these silver things, the silver ovals, those are basically like silver dragon eggs, like 6 silver dragon eggs. And then like what represents the 6 kingdoms, those are flames. Those are kind of like small flames
Yeah. Oh,
representing
okay.
the 6 kingdoms. And then of course again the silver crackling of the dryness of dragon skin, and then the dragon scale on the edges, and then her collar is even larger than the colors for her siblings, because I wanted her to have like armor like all over her, like down to her shoulders, because she's fabulous, you know.
I like how at the back of her hair it looks like you did her hair kind of like macrame, or is that like an overlay kind of her?
Yeah, no, that's basically like macrame, like you see Daenerys's wedding hairstyle.
Yes.
It's basically that, but more
Yeah,
elaborate.
and then but then you add beads or something or jewels to it.
Yeah, and yeah, like in every, because I see a lot of hairstyle videos. Like for every like, let's say, one of a better word, knot. Every knot finish will be finished with a Targaryen bead. That you can see the bead
that little thing. Oh, so that little black thing with the rubies is actually what you're talking about? Is that what that is?
Yeah, the little silver thing with the rubies. That's the bead. It's a hair bead.
Oh yeah, I love that idea. That's beautiful. I thought actually those were wrist cuffs. That's what I thought those were.
No, those are hair beads.
Yeah. And then the other ones are her earrings, the ones on the front photo of her. You have a little illustration on the corner there. Is that
this dragon thing? No, that's her hairpin. That's a hairpin.
Oh no, not on the right photo, the left photo.
Oh, the left photo. Sorry.
Yeah, there's that little. It looks like a cross.
Yeah, no, that's actually the design for the Celtic design inside the dragon. You see the dragon? It has like a Celtic design. That's it.
Yes. Oh, okay. I get it. Now I love how I think you did this also. Let me go back here. I think you did this also on Visenya. You put a little bit of a ruffle, tiny little ruffle on the edge of the cape.
Yeah. Those are dragon skills. Those are like Metallic dragon skills.
Okay.
To know their strength and ferocity.
Yeah. But it looks like you've edged the cape with, it's got a little bit of a ruffle. But
yeah, kind of.
Kind of?
A little bit.
Okay. So anyway, what I was going to say is, so Tatiana, other than that, do you have anything else you wanted to add about this costume?
Just that I wanted her to look more seductive than, like, more outwardly seductive than Visenya. Because, okay, again, like Visenya, she's like, you call in the video, you call her the seductress.
Yeah.
But I think for me, Visenya is so comfortable with her own sexiness, and she knows how gorgeous she is that she doesn't need to like present skin in a way, so she can like dress conservatively and still be sexy as fuck. Whereas Rhaenys, it's not that she doesn't know her sexuality or how sexy she is, because she knows it, but she feels like, she's like more like she loves to like flaunt it. It's like if you got it, flaunt it. So she goes for it.
But
that's how I see the sisters.
That's awesome. Are you tired from having to do that? It's like a major presentation.
I had to do one a few weeks ago, and that was the speed through. I had to go through like 20 slides in like 30 minutes. It was like a lot of. I had to go through 30 years of history in 30 minutes.
Wow.
I was like,
that's like my Marie Antoinette video. It was like ridiculous. It was crazy. Like I was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? 30 days is laughing. He says, nice drawings. They're beautiful. So anyway, guys, so if anybody is just joining us, we've been like the last few hours, Tatiana and I have been talking about this video series that we did back actually, I think it was like we started last summer and it kind of went into the fall last year. We just haven't had a chance to talk about it. Here it is on our channel, my channel. So there's 6 videos in all regarding all of the prequel characters. In this series, we featured a bunch of like amazing artists, including Tatiana, obviously, and but just like fan arts, we have some professional artists that George is, I don't know if he's commissioned them or if I think sometimes he did. George Martin. And so even if you're not a, a book reader, you don't have to be a book reader, because you guys know I'm not a book reader. I became a fan of the show itself. So you don't even have to be a book reader to watch it, because we kind of give you just a little bit of information about all of the different characters. Sorry, Tatiana, you want to say something?
A friend of mine actually got me the entire books of Song of Ice and Fire for my birthday. They're just sitting there collecting dust, just looking at me mockingly.
Oh, which book did you get?
I got the box set of Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh, you did? Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. So they're just collecting. So Rockshot was asking, are there any examples of the actual costume? I see sketches and nothing else.
I am a horrible seamstress. Like I can sketch you any costume you want, but once I get behind a sewing machine, I'm like, and blank.
Yeah, I know these are concepts. So and these are, these characters haven't been in a show. So it's just sort of like there are lots of other some ideas of, but maybe one day we'll have them made if we have
maybe when the day comes that I finally get off my ass and learn some sewing.
So before we go, what I thought we would quickly do, like I've been on Tony Teflon's show and I was on Justin Thomas's show talking a little bit about House of the Dragon. I don't think we've actually talked about it on our channel, but anyway, and the Dragon Demands, who he was on Twitter, like as I mentioned earlier, I've put a link to his channel in the chat. In the description, has a really great channel just sort of breaking down what's happening with the show and everything. But one of the things that Tatiana and I did, and Vanessa, who was also here earlier, was sort of like, what would some of these characters look like in the new series? Because it was kind of all happening around the same time. And so we sort of talked about what they would look like. Here are some examples of what they might dress like. We even, Tatiana, you even gathered pictures just from runway pictures and put those in, just sort of like, this would be really cool on them. So all we really know right now about House of the Dragon, which is the prequel series to Game of Thrones, is that it is being done by, I'm just looking at the IMDb right now. It's Miguel Sapochnik is one of the showrunners, along with Ryan Condal and George Martin, who is the original, book writer. And it's based on the Fire and Blood book, if I'm correct.
Yep.
And so the story itself is about Dance of the Dragons. Is that not right? I don't have the dragon here, but I believe it's about Dance of the Dragons, which is the battle. It's like a civil war between the family, where basically all these dragons, these poor dragons that end up dying. So we don't know a lot about it, but the one thing we do know on the costume side of things, this is what I was just going to tell you guys, is they did hire a costume designer. Her name is Jenny Tamim. The only thing I had known about her is that, well, she did a lot of Harry Potter shows. So she's done a bunch of the Harry Potter series. The show that I knew that she did, I think she did Skyfall.
Yeah, but all that's modern. It's fantasy, but it's modern fantasy. So this is like medieval fantasy. So there's a difference.
Yeah, but she did do Maleficent. She did do that as well. So that's sort of like, that's her one area that she's done. So she's got quite a backing. The one thing that I discovered the other day, though, I was actually reached out to the Dragon Demands. So while I'm doing my a Knight's Tale video. So I'm doing my Knight's Tale video, doing some research on that. I discovered that first thing that was kind of cool about it is that the costume designer, Tim Aslam from The Witcher, who unfortunately he got let go and they hired somebody else. I liked Tim's design, so I'm going to stay with that. But anyway.
Maybe he'll make better designs for Jennifer.
They hired a new person for Yennefer, or they hired a new person. But anyway, so Tim Aslam, he worked on A Knight's Tale. But the other thing I discovered is that the armor maker, Simon Brindle, also worked on A Knight's Tale. He is going to be the costume effects supervisor on on House of the Dragon. So they're bringing him in. So now I don't know what happened with Simon, because Simon did the armor for the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones. And then he left for some reason. I think why he left is he went on, actually, he did Thor, not Thor Ragnarok, but I think Dark Age. And then he then also is doing Dune, which is the new, huge project. So he's like a pretty big deal. So the fact that he's coming back to TV is a really great sign. So Jenny, I don't know much about her costumes on Maleficent. I thought were gorgeous. Only thing is, I did feel she kind of stole Michelle Clapton's silhouette for the evil queen there. Yeah. Oh, she's French. Yes. I felt like that was like, as soon as I saw that costume worn by Michelle Pfeiffer, I'm like, that's like, I'm sorry, that's Cersei. Have you seen it?
I'm sorry, who?
Have you seen Maleficent? Have you seen the movie Maleficent? Mistress of Evil?
Maleficent. Yeah. Well, but the second one, no, I saw the first one.
Okay. So
I'm sorry. What? Raksha said this woman's language is not English, but she should clear her speech. Who is she talking about?
I don't know who's talking here.
Rockshot. Who's talking about? This woman's native language is not English, but she should clean up her speech. She sounds so vulgar. Who are you talking about, Rockshot?
I don't know. Okay. I'm sorry, Tatiana. I just blocked them. I don't know who that person is. They were talking about you. They're gone. I don't know who that person is. I think he didn't like you swearing, but it's my stream. You can do whatever you want. Sorry, 30 days. I just booted that person. I don't know who they are, and so they're gone. Sorry about that, Tatiana.
He can really fuck off.
Yeah, he can fuck off. Say My Name says, considering the filming for House of the Dragon starts mid-April, it's strange that they haven't even officially named all the cast, not to mention costumes or other sketches. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. 30 days. I didn't know what was going on either, to be honest with you. Tatiana just brought that.
Yeah, no, I was like, excuse me. Say, English is not her first language. Like, it might not be my first language, but I'm fucking fluent at it. If I want to fucking curse, I'm gonna fucking curse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen.
So no, what I was saying was, okay, so Jenny Tamim, who is the costume designer for House of the Dragon, who did, Harry Potter, a bunch of stuff, Skyfall, she did the costumes for the second Maleficent. And what I said was the Michelle Pfeiffer costume, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's Cersei Lannister's costume, like the silhouette. So what I said about that is I felt she kind of did steal that. I mean, you could argue that she didn't, but I as soon as she had the gorget, she had the neck collar, the gorget, the pen, and the pauldrons, everything. I don't know what you thought about that, Asun, but
let me check.
Yeah, so you'll have to look at it. But anyway, but other than that, I thought the costumes were gorgeous. I thought it was like a really beautiful.
I mean, it's beautiful. I mean,
we had some excitement in here today. This is really. We had some excitement in here. And it's funny because, wow, if they had been in our 24-hour live stream, I wonder what they would have thought about that.
Yeah, actually, I will say it looks less. It looks a bit less sexy, but it also looks like Charlize Theron in Snow White, the Maleficent.
Yeah. So I feel like she's bored. Yeah, there you go. Let me see if I can find it. I can just.
Yeah. Sorry.
But I did think the costumes were really gorgeous. In fact, when I saw it, I was kind of surprised that it didn't get nominated for anything. Like it didn't, she didn't get any kind of thing. So I don't know. So if anybody knows her work or what you think of her work, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Yes, exactly. They do. I totally agree. I do that too. But
considering this is fairly early in Targaryen history, because Dance of the Dragons is like, but it's fairly early because it's Aegon, then Aenys, then
I think Tony says it's like about 200 years before.
Yeah, but I'm saying from the beginning. I'm saying from like the beginning of from the conquest to. What's the word I'm looking for? To the Dance of Dragons.
Yes.
It's just a few dynasties away.
Yes. Yeah,
So
exactly.
I hope that since we didn't really get a lot of Targaryen costumes before Dany came into the scene, I do hope they play around with like Asian fashions, like Asian costumes, because there's so many beautiful Asian costumes. Like I can totally see the Targaryens being inspired by Indian fashions, like the lenga. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. Well, one of the things I'd read is so Ryan Condal, who I actually really like him. He has a series called I think it's like Occupation or Invasion. It's about an alien. It's like an alien occupation show. But anyways, I did watch it and it's really, really good. And one of the things he did talk about, at least the Dragon Demands has talked about, is that they're not going to completely reinvent the world. Like it's not going to be like a brand new world. So they are going to borrow from what was done before rather than, reinvent the wheel, right? So Michelle, I had actually suggested that I thought Michelle Clapton might even be brought in as a consultant because it would make sense to me. Firstly, because she's the one who built the world originally. And then but then they'd have to kind of work backwards, right? So, and I was saying that things, even in 200 years, I think it might be 150 years, like if we go back to the Dance of the Dragons, I think it's 150 years ago. If we went back 150 years, even 200 years ago, I mean, things would be still not that much different.
Well, it all depends on the world because it's like my only frame of reference is reality, and here 200 years from here to 1821, the costumes were vastly different. Do we have inspirations from that era? Of course, we still have the Empire waistline. We still have many things that from that era. It's like that.
But but I was saying men used to wear pants and shirts and jackets and vests, and women would wear. Women weren't wearing pants, technically speaking, as much or at all. But a lot of it's still clothing.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, with the Targaryens, I can see that for like the other families because they have been established. Like we can say that Cersei was a trendsetter and she did her own thing. And same with Marjorie, she did her own thing, and maybe she just went against the grain, let us say, traditionally. But we can see like how we can see like that working backwards for the other families, but for the Targaryens in particular, seeing as they died out, and that the last one were Viserys and Daenerys, and then Daenerys, and her style wasn't really what we call Targaryen because she took styles from slavers from all around Slavers Bay. She picked and choose her own style. So I'm saying with the Targaryens in particular, there's a blank slate because we don't really know what the traditional Targaryen fashion was. So it's not like we can take Daenerys' style and then work backwards because she wasn't there for the Targaryen fashions at the time. So she picked and chose from different cultures, be it the Dothraki, be it the Yunkai, be it Karth, be it Marine. So
although we do have
we have the series.
But exactly. We have Viserys. We have the flashbacks to the Targaryen armor. So we know what, at least in terms of Rhaegar's Kingsguard, we knew what they dressed like. And we knew what Rhaegar, at his wedding, at least, he dressed like. It had that sort of Japanese influence. But no, for sure, it would be much more open. But as I was saying, I think Ryan, the showrunner, even if Jenny had an idea what she wants to do, he's going to sort of create the world as he sees fit before it gets to even the point that she's at. Kind of like Rain, which I hate the design of, but even if you want to be fair to the costume designer, she was told that she had to do it this way. There are no corsets, there are no panniers or side cages or the showrunners told her that immediately. They wanted it to be like a Gossip Girl type thing. So even before it got to her. Whereas I think
Yeah,
D&D,
she worked.
D&D.
I don't blame her. She worked with what she had. She worked with
She
what
did,
she was
yeah.
given.
Exactly. And then so whereas Michelle, I think Michelle had a lot more reign. No, I'm not trying to make a pun there, but she had a lot more freedom, I think. It was terrible. I think she had a lot more freedom because Dave and Dan, I think, didn't really necessarily know how to envision the world. I mean, could they even envision it? I don't know. She worked closely with the production designer. So I think between the two of them, they kind of came up with how the world would actually look. And obviously the scripts probably told them as well. There is no, yeah, I never really understood that. Okay, just to, I have to say, George Lucas, this line that he said that there's no underwear in space, I swear to God, like that, I don't even know what to say about that because it doesn't even make any sense. Like, first of all, how would he even know? Such a jerk. And also, were the guys not wearing underwear? I'm sure they were, but so I don't know why Leia wasn't wearing a bra. That's that thing made me mad. Yeah, I agree, Asen. I'm just saying that in terms of like what the designer did, I think a lot of it was because she was a contemporary designer and she didn't have a lot of experience with historical costumes and probably budget wise also I felt, but also she said in an interview that the showrunners were like, we don't want to have corsets, we don't want to have, you know, the correct silhouette, we don't want to have any of that. Whereas something like Marie Antoinette, which, you know, the fabrics are, a lot of them are modern and the colors and so on, but at least they went with the correct silhouette. And there probably are some people who want to still fight me in the chat about that, but on that video. But you know, whereas that one was just kind of like all over the place. I don't know. It was like Gossip Girl, I don't know, which I've never watched. Have you watched that show, Tatiana?
The closest I've watched to Gossip Girl is Bridgerton.
Oh, Bridgerton's so fun. And again, I've had some people. I had one woman just went completely berserk, by the way, on me. She just kind of went completely berserk on me. Like, Say My Name didn't like it, which is totally cool. I am respectful of them for not liking it. But this person just,
it's not for everyone.
But this person just went completely lost it on me, and I'm like, girl, like this is just a TV show. Yeah,
calm down. Like, calm down,
totally. Yeah. So yeah, Say My Name. If she thinks that Bridgerton costumes are bad, yeah, these are. But anyway, so I don't know, what were you talking about? I got so sidetracked there. My God.
The House of the Dragon and the Targaryen fashion.
Yes. So anyway, that's what I thought, that maybe it might. But you know, honestly, I think it's going to be like we're going to have to just wait and see what happens. But what I did say is I really want to see some ermine. Because I love ermine. It doesn't have to be real ermine. It could be faux ermine, like in Marie Antoinette. Like, I'd love to see some of that. What would you like to see in the show?
Well, I would love to see like Asian, like I said, like Asian fashion, especially like Indian, because like they outsource embroidery from India, and yet you don't feature Indian fashions, which is like gorgeous.
Yes.
Like, my brain does not compute.
Well, Danny had a definite Indian influence over her. She did. She had that. On one of my videos, I did that. I showed some of it's Indo-Western silhouette, like with the cutouts and so on. That was a definite Indian kind of influence. And some of the fabrics, like Michelle used a lot of Indian silks on the Targaryens. She used like paper silks and sari silks and so on. So, and then the sleeves. Well, actually, that's like sort of Japanese more than Indian. But
you know what? I have a question, and this is about Valeria.
Not Herman. Ermine.
Ermine. Yeah, that Herman. Who's Herman?
And not real Ermine, not the cute little weasel, because they're adorable. I mean, really, little Ermine, or like they're like a little weasel. They're super cute. I wouldn't want real Ermine, because Ermine is, you know, that's cruel. But it could be a faux Ermine.
It's like like fake Herman. It's like, who's Herman?
Fake Herman. Furman. Oh, Furman. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Furman.
yeah. Like, because it's royal, right? Like, the white guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the white fur with the little black flecks in it. Like Tatiana had a sketch of it earlier. Was that ermine though? Is that what it was? Ermine?
I think it was just fur, but I know what you're talking about.
It looks like little black flecks in it. By the way,
yeah.
By the way, I know you're not watching the MCU, but there is this coat in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that's worn by the bad guy in that, Zemon. Oh my God, is it ever amazing? It's got this giant like fur collar that looks like maybe cougar. I don't know, maybe Asun knows. Amazing. Fantastic coat that he wears. And then when he jumps, this is what I love about superhero costumes. When he jumps, he's got it's like a long leather coat. And when he jumps, it's split. So it kind of like flies up. Like it's so cool.
Ooh,
anyway, that's a side note.
Sexy.
Oh, you were just joking. Okay, because I was pretty sure I love ermine, because I think I mentioned to you guys maybe a couple of years ago that well, just at a theater school, I had thought I might start a business called Everything Ermine, where I would make everything out of ermine, like faux ermine. And I was even going to do like Ethel Merman, her ermine. Like I was just going to do all these things like handbags. Yeah, like coats lined with faux ermine, like I just Dalmatian fur, exactly. So Dalmatian fur is kind of like white with like spots on it, whereas ermine is like more like a little fleck. And you see it like on royal cloaks, like you see a red cape and it's got the fur around the collar. So it's typically a royal fur. But there was none in Game of Thrones.
I did ermine cape as a birthday present. As part of a birthday present for my dad, because I drew my dad as if he was Charlemagne, based on Charlemagne, because he loves history, and I made him like the emperor, and I saw an image of Charlemagne being coronated, the coronation of Charlemagne, and he had like the ermine fur cape with the thing, and I did it for him. So yeah.
Yes. I wanted to say hi to Paul Peck. He's one of my friends from my YouTube group. Hi, Paul Peck. He has a drywall channel. He's an amazing creator and an awesome, awesome guy. I wanted to say hello to you and thank you so much for coming. Because Paul, I don't even know if you're into Game of Thrones. So that's so sweet that you came here. And this is my friend Tatiana. She's this way. She's my fellow queen. So we're wearing our crown. Oh, I was wearing my crown. I took it off. It was getting heavy. I don't have a crown holder. So here we are with our crowns. And I always wear
Shakespeare.
Yeah. So we were just talking about that. So I'd love to see ermine. You would love to see what? Sorry, where were you saying that again?
Indian fashions.
Indian fashions.
And other historical fashions. Like. I would love to see fashions from like the Chinese Tang Dynasty or the Han Dynasty. Like the Chinese dynasties had such goddamn amazing fashions. I
Absolutely,
would love to see it.
Oh, thanks.
And it was also color coded, so it's like right there. It's like right
totally.
there. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Like only the emperor could wear gold, or only the emperor could wear the dragon. And it's like
for sure.
It's like
the other thing that will be kind of fun though, because like, you were saying, we're going back in time, but there's a lot of opportunity to create costumes that we haven't seen yet. So for instance, the Valarians, we haven't seen the Valarians yet. Or Kristen Cole.
Oh wait! Are you talking about the Valerians or the Valarians?
The Valarians, like what do you call them? The seahorse family.
Seahorses? Yeah. I mean, I would love to see them here. Seahorse. I mean, also the high towers. We don't have
the high towers. Yeah.
And the high towers. And do they exist? No. At least as far as the show concerned, they don't exist.
Oh, and actually, speaking of, because you were saying you'd love to see more green, so we probably will be seeing some green because of Alicent Hightower. We will see some.
Yeah. The conflict starts. The green and the black starts because of the dresses Rhaenyra and Alicent were wearing for the party. Like Alicent was in green and Rhaenyra was in black and red.
Yeah. And then the other thing I'm really looking forward to seeing is Rhaenyra loves jewels. Like, so that'll be maybe an opportunity. I mean, I'll be disappointed if we don't see lots of jewels in this, especially with these, sort of the height of the dynasty like that. But well, this is the other thing I forgot to mention. Okay. Do you want to see dragon armor?
Yes.
Yes, queen.
Yes.
Yes. By the way, Paul, I wanted to mention to you, I had my very first troll in the live stream. Like, it was really weird because one of my other fellow creators was mentioning that they had a troll in their live stream, and it was kind of caught them off guard and they didn't know what to do. And so, Paul, we had our very first, and I said, wow, it's like, we never have that problem here. We have such a lovely community. But to be honest with you, this person, I didn't know who they were. So Valarians and Celtigars are also Valarians. But it gets very confusing. The Valarians and Celtigars are also Valerians. So yeah, there's the Valerians and the Valarians, but I'm thinking of the horseshoe people. That's what I'm just going to call them.
The horseshoe people or the seahorse people?
Sorry, the seahorse people. Who are the horseshoe people? That would be funny. Yeah. So, well, anyway, the reason why we say they need it is because in Game of Thrones, and this is a spoiler, one of the dragons dies from arrows. Yeah. So, there's a scorpion and then there's the arrows. So, I think there's one movie that actually I put it in the video where I found a picture, a really cool movie from probably like 30 years ago where there was this dragon wearing armor, kind of like, what's that Disney movie, Tatiana?
Aragon?
How to Train Your Dragon. He puts armor on the dragon.
Yeah. Do they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah. So the idea is, like, normally dragons do have hard scales that protect them against it, but I think they still have soft spots, I think. So I would love to see them wearing armor. I would love to see them having saddles, and I would love to see the dragon riders wearing armor. So those are a couple of big asks that I have. Yeah, because Danny forgot about the Ironborn fleet. But aren't you guys kind of disappointed that she never wore any armor? I was just like, seriously? Like, what happened there?
Because she thought she was so safe in her dragon.
She's fireproof, but she's not like, arrow-proof.
She's not arrow-proof.
Yeah.
Sword-proof, but she can still be stabbed.
I just wanted to say, by the way, Hindsight made a comment about Star Trek. This is really fun. It says in the 1960s Star Trek, I assume the costumes weren't that uncomfortable, but I don't know for certain. Oh, wait, sorry. I have to go back. There was a comment earlier than that. Sorry, I'm just going to go back here. Where is your comment about Star Trek? Oh, here it is. Nope. Still have to go back further. Here it is. Gene Roddenberry's vision for Star Trek was all the clothes are wrinkle-free in the 24th century. It made the costumes really uncomfortable for the actors in all the Star Trek shows. But I also wanted to add that there were no buttons. That was the other thing I remember. And that you'll also see that in Star Wars. They didn't have buttons on all the like military uniforms and so on. And actually they did that in, I think they did that in Game of Thrones too. I don't think there's any buttons in Game of Thrones. I think there's only fasteners.
I think there's like hidden fasteners and
yeah, clasps,
ties,
yeah, which is kind of a medieval thing because I don't think buttons were a thing until later. So that might be a history. But or grommets, like grommets and lacing and
yeah, that's lacing.
That's
what
lacing. Yeah. He said Garrett Wang, Ensign Kim said he hated wearing his Starfleet uniform. Jerry Ryan, 7 of 9, said her costume was terrible, but when she had to wear a Starfleet uniform in an episode, that was just as bad. Really? I had no idea why. That seems weird. Okay, yeah. White fur fur coat in battle. No saddle on a nosedive and dragon. Yeah, great. Forgotten about armor. Anyway, so wouldn't that be? I mean, especially with all the dragon battles. There's gonna be so many dragon battles. That will be
Oh, the
very
dragon
cool.
battle. I mean, I know that Matt Smith is going to play Damon.
Yes,
Damon.
Damon.
The Rogue Prince. The Rogue Prince.
Damon. Yes, Damon. You're correct.
I was like,
Yeah, and then
I would have
Reese
thought of him
Ifans.
as-
Reese Ifans is playing Otto Hightower. Reese Ifans. Do you know who
I
he
don't
is?
remember. No.
I remember him.
The only one I can recognize is Matt Smith because Doctor Who.
Well, have you ever seen
And The
Notting
Crown.
Hill?
No.
Oh, okay. So there's this movie called Notting Hill with Hugh Grant and Julia something or other. Julia Dreyfus. Julia. You guys will know. Anyway, he plays
Julia Dreyfus?
No, it's not Julia Dreyfus. Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts, like a love story, right? And anyway, Reese Ifans is his roommate, like his crazy roommate. He's so funny. But he does also play straight characters too, so it'll be interesting. Okay, so before we finish up, because it's 5:00, is there anything else you want to add about House of the Dragon, or is there anything else you want to say?
I just hope they don't fuck it up like they fucked the last few seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, so far, I mean, I don't know. It's looking pretty promising from my perspective. At first, like I have to say, my visceral reaction to Matt Smith being cast, I was like a little bit like, really? But I don't know.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was like, really? Because my biggest mind when it comes to Matt Smith is Doctor Who, when he's like dorky and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But he is a really good actor.
I also saw him in The Crown. In The Crown,
Mm-hmm.
he was more like, as Prince Philip, may he rest in peace. He was more like manly and like, I'm a man's man and I will build this wall. And it was like, okay, maybe he could have some roguish charm. It remains to be seen. Apparently, his audition was good enough to be cast. And you can say whatever you want about Game of Thrones, but they'd had amazing casting.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost.
Angel Over, can you remind me what Shadow and Bone is? AU told me about it. What is it? What's Shadow and Bone? Maybe you can tell me what that is. Yeah, so I think there's still a lot of unknown variables that we don't know. And I mean, to be fair, I mean, when I started watching Game of Thrones, I didn't do my first video about it until like I'd already watched, I think, a couple of seasons. So, you're able to kind of look at it as a whole, and without really knowing all the information, it's kind of going to be difficult to decide. Like, even if they start releasing pictures and so on, it's like Dune. Like, I'm not really going to be able to judge Dune until I see it.
Picture. Yeah. Again, he is a good actor. Like he's a really good actor. Like I loved him in Doctor Who. He was great in The Crown. I think I've seen him in other things. I haven't seen him as like the roguish Dark Prince character but again, I will trust the casting team in this Game of Thrones universe because, as I said, you can say whatever you want about Game of Thrones, but it had pitch perfect casting. Like all the characters are casted perfectly.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because and I know you know this, but if people don't know that they did do some recasting, like after the pilot.
Exactly.
Jennifer Eel, who I adore her, by the way, she's in my favorite she's in my favorite Pride and Prejudice, because they say, I feel that's the epitome of Pride and Prejudice, the one that she was in. But she probably, but the Catelyn Stark they ended up going with, I think she was perfection. So I can't really imagine Jennifer Eel having been, and Tamsin was originally supposed to be Dany, who again is fantastic. She's a fantastic actress, but again, I can't imagine.
She looks like perpetually 14.
That's what they said the problem was. Yeah.
It's like she could be like in her 50s and she will look 14.
Yeah, but have you seen that other show she's in? I think you said you have seen it, right? The one
Row.
Carnival Row.
Yeah.
She's great
I
in
saw her.
that.
I saw her in the Tutors. I saw
And
her
the
as
Tutors, of course.
Kathleen
Yeah, and then
Howard.
Tutors. Yeah. So anyway, so both wonderful actors, but I just honestly cannot imagine those roles going to somebody other than Amelia Clark. And so we'll have to just wait and see what happens.
And like you think it now because of the show, you think of a character from Game of Thrones and you will think Gwendolyn Christie, you will think Emilia Clarke, you will think Peter Dinklage, you will think Nikolai Coster-Waldau. You can't imagine anyone else in those roles because he was casted so well.
No, some actually hindsight, some people prefer the Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley. And you know what, Ace and I have to see Salem. Oh, but before we go, so Tatiana, you're watching The Great, right? Or you have watched The Great?
I have watched The Great. Yeah.
I have to say, I'm watching The Great. I highly recommend it, guys. It's not a movie.
So
it's a miniseries.
I don't know. I think this is going to be a second season.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's a series, not a miniseries. But anyways, it's fantastic. I also
have you gone to the end?
Don't tell me. I haven't gotten to it yet.
All I'm saying is her costume there is fabulous. That's all.
Well, I saw one of. Okay, I haven't gotten to. There's one she has a fuchsia pink one.
The fuchsia pink one.
Okay, I've seen pictures of it, but I haven't seen it in the show yet. So yeah, and the costumes are amazing. And what else were we watching? Jack, we watched one episode of The Nevers, which is pretty good, I think, as well. And Jack watches 2 or 3 times as much TV as me because I just don't have the time. He watches like a lot. He's like, I find him, he sneaks downstairs and he's like, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm watching this show. But he usually watches stuff behind my back that I'm not into. So that's cool.
Can I answer hindsight? Like, I like the Keira Knightley version. I do. And like I've gotten and I recently have re-examined it and I like it even more because there's so many subtleties in the acting, especially between Darcy and Elizabeth. But come on, honey, how can anything come against sexy Colin Firth coming out of a lake practically naked and wet? I'm sorry. There's nothing that can everything else has automatically lost. I'm sorry.
It's really weird. I don't know if anybody, like some of you probably have seen what is it? What's the name of that movie? Bridget Jones's Diary. You've probably seen the movie, maybe the sequel. But I read both the books.
I've seen scenes. I haven't seen it completely.
Okay. So anyway, I read both the books as well.
I know I have to watch it. Watch it.
But it's really weird. So the books are based loosely on Pride and Prejudice. I don't know if you guys know that, but in the second book, it's really weird because, Colin Firth is cast in the book, in the movie, I should say, as her love interest. And then in the book, she actually has to interview the real Colin Firth, who she knows plays Mr. Darcy, and she loves him because he plays Mr. Darcy. So it's really weird because I'm going, what's going on here? Because here Bridget is interviewing Colin Firth, who is actually Mr. Darcy, but the role is anyway. It's super meta, the whole thing. How can anything beat Colin Firth almost naked, coming out of the water? Never thought of it that way.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then he shows up at the house because people say that she fell in love with him after she saw his house. She sees his beautiful house. Oh,
she started falling in love with him before that, but then she
I think so too. Yeah, it's such a great show. But anyway, so Tatiana, I'm really glad we were able to do this finally. It's Return of the Queens. Maybe we'll talk. We're going to maybe do an Oscar special. We could talk about doing that and trying to do more live streaming. I just, guys, sorry. My full-time job is really kind of nuts right now. I haven't talked to you about this, Tatiana, but we almost lost a client this week, but then we got them back within 5 days. It was the weirdest thing. So things are a little bit nuts. Yay! Man, 2 clients. Jack's like, great, we're going to be in the street. No. So anyway, yeah. So Tatiana, tell everyone where they can find you. I have your links in the description, but you can tell them as well.
I have a blog. It's probably in the description. It's just tatianamelendez.com. I am in Instagram. I don't use it a lot because I'm not a huge fan of Instagram, but it's like there. I don't have a Twitter because I am not going to submit myself to that kind of torture and that much of misery. But I'm here. I'm usually in YouTube an obscene amount of time. So you can find me there in my blog, in my Instagram, in my Facebook, in my. You can
and
find
then on
you
Game
can
of
find me
Queens.
in the Game of Queens and in the Game of Thrones Facebook page.
We have a Game of Thrones. Yeah, and actually, we have a Game of Thrones Facebook group, which is, and I believe we might have closed it, but I think anybody can join. It's not like a paywall or anything. I think we might have closed it, but you should be able to search for it. Asen should know it's Game of Thrones. I think we just called it the Game of Thrones analysis group or something. But anyway, so I put Tatiana's links in the description below. I'll add the link to the group as well. Asen's also in the group, but now maybe that House of the Dragon is going to be coming. We could start sort of using it for that if anyone wants to join. There's only like 100 of us, I think. It's very small. We haven't been doing anything in it. It's very niche. Yeah. And guys, I have so I'm working, I keep saying this. I'm working on A Knight's Tale, which is so fun. I'm having such a blast with it. So hopefully I'll have that out this week. I should have it out this week. And
do you not really like some of Jocelyn's costumes?
Who? Oh, no. I wanted to tell you, sorry. I love most of them. There's just a few. You know what it is? I don't like the green one. I have this problem with like chartreuse.
Really?
Like, I don't like it.
But she looks so good at chartreuse.
Oh, please, 30 days. Don't ask me about my book.
Oh yeah, where is that from?
I don't know. It fell off the shelf. Oh, thanks, Asun. Yeah, so it's the Game of Thrones costume analysis. That's what the name of the group is. Maybe we'll come up with a snappier name. I just sort of pulled that out. So I'm not really crazy about it. I'm not. But it's, it's one of those things. Some people are going to love it. Some people are not going to love it. But I actually love the costumes.
It's a zany movie. It's a zany movie with zany costumes.
I even like her. I love her hat one. A lot of people hate that one. I love that one. The one with the straw hat. She wears it's tall. It's like black on the top, and then it has like a straw brim, and then it has like a really. I love that one actually.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't like that.
Pretty much all her costumes. It's like because they're so weird. They're so anachronistic.
They are.
In an anachronistic movie, it kind of works.
No. I totally agree. I just was not crazy about, and also sometimes a few of her hairstyles, I feel kind of look a bit 90s, and it just kind of like I'm not super crazy about that. But other than that, no, I love the costumes. I love the men's costumes, and I always sort of tend to gravitate toward the men's costumes. I don't know why, and the armor. And James Purefoy's coat is my favorite in that movie.
Yeah,
I've been kind of like drooling all over that coat.
And I didn't notice until I rewatched A Knight's Tale, but that one of William's friends is actually King Robert. I was like,
yes. I know. And you know who else is in it that I discovered is Daddy Terrell. Like Marjorie's dad is in it. He plays the bishop in the church that scolds Jocelyn when she's talking too loud in the church.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so far away. He plays very well. So
it's such a small world. And I was saying Simon Brindle, who did the armor on Game of Thrones, is on the picture as well. So I thought that was really cool. He did the special effects and stuff. Okay. So I hopefully we'll have that out this week. But if you guys haven't seen A Knight's Tale, and I don't get anything out of this, but it's on Netflix right now. Jack says, by the way, it's on Netflix. So you guys could go watch it if you want. It's its 20th anniversary and see the late Heath Ledger and he's amazing in it. He's such a dreamboat. Oh my God,
Paul
yeah.
Bettany's
And Paul
booty.
Bettany is completely. Actually, it's funny. I saw an interview of him talking about being in that movie because it's like, he's Vision now, and Asun has a bit of a crush on him. I'm gonna wrap
I
it up
get
by
like,
saying that.
girl, I get
There's a
it.
bit of crush on him because I have
I
to
get
say
it.
he's really come into his look because in that movie he's so skinny, right? And now
Yeah,
he's
it's
kind of
like
buff,
his predator booty. Well, he has to. He's a superhero now.
He is a superhero, but it was funny because in the movie, I saw the behind the scenes. He was talking about how he had to be completely naked like several times. Like, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, Paul, there's this scene you have to be completely naked." Like that must have just been so weird. Like he's just like,
It's like if you got it, ding, flaunt it, ding, walk
but
around
as my costume teacher used to say, there's always powder. Oh, he has some.
always
They put
powder.
some dirt on him. He has a little bit of dirt.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I swear you not. In every other movie that I've seen him in, every time I see him, it could be Mission Impossible, it could be The Tourist, he could be like his neck in clothes. All I think about is him naked. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a tennis movie with him that's really good too. Where he's a tennis player. I think it's with Kirsten Dunst.
Oh.
It's like, yeah, he plays a tennis player.
Wimbledon?
It's like a Wimbledon type thing, and his hair. I think he's more blonde in it though. I think they colored it. That's the other thing, by the way. In like Alan Tudyk is so much of a ginger in it that it makes actually Paul Bettany look like a blonde. Like he looks, and his eyebrows are so light that they're bleached out completely because I guess he was in the sun probably a lot. Oh, it is Wimbledon.
I mean, yeah.
Great movie. I'm going to go back and watch that. I love Paul Bettany, and his wife is Jennifer Hudson, Jennifer Ward, Jennifer Stewart.
Jennifer.
She's a Jennifer. She's in Snowpiercer, the series. I can't remember her name offhand. But anyway, okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up because we've been on here 3 hours, which I know is nothing compared to a 24-hour live stream.
Like after that, like who cares?
I actually, do you know that I have to tell you before we leave, I felt like I was off for a couple of days. Like I was like, not off like work or anything, but I felt like I had jet lag. That's the best description I could come up with. And Jack's like, yeah, because you didn't sleep.
Because you didn't sleep for 24 goddamn hours.
Paul Bettany would make the perfect Marius in Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles. I haven't read that.
Probably. I know the I haven't read it, but I know the story. So yeah.
I love Priest.
Jennifer Connelly, that's her name.
Jennifer Connelly, thank you. I said to Jack, I always have to rely on people in my chat to come up with names of people because I can never think of what they are off the top. If I have it in front of me, like if I have it written down, I'm fine. But yeah. Well, anyway, I want to thank everyone for coming. We had a really nice turnout today, and it was nice to see some friendly faces. And well, I guess I don't see your face, but I can see your avatars. And of course, be reunited with my fellow queen, Tatiana. It was really nice, Tatiana, getting to chat with you.
Of course, always. I missed you, darling.
Missed you too, darling. Okay, well, anyway, yeah, so we'll talk about if you guys are into doing an Oscar show, maybe we'll do that and we can ask our British friend back. We'll just, like I said, we'll set it earlier in the day so we just get too much into the wine. That was so funny. Oh my God.
And we told him to just drink water until the stream.
Until the stream, and then he can get into, and then we can have champagne or something. You're not allowed to drink right now, or you just can't get access to it?
I technically can, but it's not mine, so no. It's not my liquor.
Oh, I see. And and you guys are in a lockdown situation, right? You guys are in a lockdown?
Well, kind of, sort of, maybe yes, sort of, because Puerto Rico, the pandemic numbers have been rising again a lot, steadily. So it's not so much as a lockdown because we still can like go out, but there is a strict curfew.
Oh, okay, yeah. So because our liquor stores, like, if they closed the liquor store or the wine stores, there would be a riot.
I mean,
Because I'm Canadian, so you cannot have.
we will go back to prohibition. You will have Canadian prohibition.
It would be like, thanks so much.
Crazy.
Thanks everyone so much for coming. Okay, so we'll see you all soon. I'll post when we're going to have the next stream. All right, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.